You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello, and welcome to the 72nd edition of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. It's the 12th episode of Season 7. We are the show who compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing through the same quests with characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. Welcome, everyone. Hi, I am Andrew. Welcome to the Season 7 finale of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. Today on the Fallout Feed, we have a couple of our usual favorite Fallout faces with Ray. Hello, Ray.
Evening, Andrew.
And Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
And tonight is a little bit of sad news. Sarah, we made the announcement a month or so ago. People, this has been your farewell lap. You take the tour around the country. People throw you extravagant presents and prizes. I'm sure, as you've experienced, as you well know, everything's showing up at your doorstep these days. But it's a sad day. We say farewell to Sarah on the Fallout Feed.
No.
But let's not let that bring us down, because we have the whole gang with us, everyone who sent in feedback pretty much through the whole Season 7, all season long. We're just going to have a nice open conversation today. We're going to open up the floor, let people talk about their characters, where they started, where they thought they were going, where they actually went, and where they are now. So let's meet our feedback participants for Season 7 on the Fallout Feed Roundtable. Clint, hello. How are you doing today?
Hello, everyone from Bowen in Queensland. We're on a bit of a holiday at the moment.
Oh, wonderful. On the road with your lovely wife, Charlene. Hello. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me back. I'm a bit of a ring-in, but I'm glad to be here to help.
Wonderful to have you. Thank you for hopping back on the show. And Lee, thank you, sir, for hopping on.
Greetings.
Also, we have Sarah.
Hey.
Sarah Saylor. We got the Vossler and
Right.
thing going on again tonight. So we'll do Sarah Vossler and Sarah Saylor. So Saylor, how are you doing this evening?
Doing very good. How are you doing, Andrew?
Wonderful to have you. Thank you for hopping on. And also Simon. Hi, Simon.
Hi, folks. Andrew. Good
Wonderful
to be on.
to have you. Yeah, special recording time. I know our usual recording time. Very inconvenient for those across the pond, as they say. So Simon, special recording time. We wanted to make sure that we had you on. You've been a very nice participant for the most part of the roundtable feedback this season. So we wanted to make sure that we could get you on. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. You're going to make me blush now.
Oh, no. And also Steve. What's going on, Steve?
Hey, everybody. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Gee whiz, where are you?
Middle Earth.
I'm in New Zealand.
He's
9 a.m.
He's across the pond, the big pond, 3 ponds away. My wife is upstairs introducing our son to New Zealand's favorite movie right now, Steve.
Favorite right now?
Right now, she's introducing him to
Which
New
one?
Zealand's favorite film. I assume it's New Zealand's favorite film with all the tourist dollars that is produced for the country.
Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
Yes.
you always send me a picture of Gandalf every time you go to the airport, or the eagle. I always love that. So welcome to the show, Steve. Wonderful to have you, sir. We'll discuss a little bit of our upcoming season in the character generator and see if there's any other suggestions, last-minute additions and whatnot that we can come up with here. So thanks again for hopping on. And last but of course, simply not least, our favorite storyteller of the group, Will. Hi, Will. How are you, sir?
Hi, Andrew. Good, thank you. How you doing?
Wonderful
Hello to all
to
my
have you
favorite
on.
Pollock people.
Yes. Will. photo shoot contest. I don't know. Do they do that like frequently, or is this every once in a while like contest that those people over there at the 76 photo mode people do over on Twitter?
Yeah, it's a bi-weekly thing. Excuse me, I stopped here. They just started a little while ago. It used to be weekly, and they kind of switched it to every other week. And it's one of those things that caught on.
Yeah.
And since I take a lot of photos in the game, I just started
Do
putting
you?
them on there. I do.
Gosh. Now, so your latest project this weekend, Will. Have you done it yet? Did you guys do your photo shoot yet?
We have not done it. We're planning tomorrow morning.
All right, put out an announcement here. Well, the show will go out immediately. So if you want to try to recruit any PS4 people here, put out the word here.
Okay, yeah. So I guess noontime Eastern U.S. Everyone's going to be going to my camp, where we're just going to do like this little fake rock show. I have all these Tesla arcs set up across my camp, and Jen and Dwight and I have already been doing some pictures and videos, and we've had some really fun things, but we just want to fill out the stage and make something kind of grand and fun. So anyone that's interested, just can get in touch, and we'll see if we can accommodate them on the server, but it'd be fun to have.
How's the team up process on the PlayStation menu? Is it exactly the same as the Xboxes, I can assume?
I would guess it is. I'm not sure. We haven't really had any problems ever. Only once or twice have we ever had to kind of wait to in a queue to join friends on a server. But it's you log in, and you hit the little social menu, and go to the friends and just join their world.
Well, I found that on the Xbox, if you're not, so you can request them, and if they don't request you back, like it's weird how you can and can't see each other in the game menu, depending on who has requested who in the Xbox friends menu or something. So
yeah, no. So you don't have to request anyone. You can just jump into their world. So, you can, I could be just crafting stuff away at my workbench, and then all of a sudden, someone's behind me. A friend is like, "Oh, hey."
Yeah. Sweet. So thank you, Will, so much for hopping on. I see your camera, your picture there on your. Are you a skateboarder?
Yeah, I have been. I've been I
Nice.
started when I was a little kid. I've been doing that for like 35 years now. So
That's amazing. Good job. That's really incredible. I didn't know that. Cool, man. So on the show tonight, like I said, we're just going to go over characters. We're going to talk about the hopes and dreams and how they were dashed and why everything is different than what you thought it was going to be. The character roles that we had, we're going to adjust the character generator slightly for a few items for next season. Steve, what are some of the adjustments that happened last season, and what are some of the remedies that we're going to install for the next season's character generator? I think one of them was a lot of the specials seemed a little bit flat, right?
Yeah, it did tend to balance out between all the different specials. So what we did was this time we built in, there will be a guaranteed 15 roll and a guaranteed 1 roll. And the rest will be random between the rest of the stats. So it works out pretty good. That way we'll get a bit of more variety in people's rolls. So say, for instance, you might get like a perception of 15, but an intelligence of 1. That'll make it really interesting to come up with characters between those,
Like, I'm super aware of my environment. I see everything around me, but I have no idea what to do about any of it.
Oh, so we're going to make a bunch of politicians.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so what's
high charisma, low intelligence.
Yeah.
What is everyone's crippling special attribute? If you get a 1 in this special, you'll just quit and never play the game again.
Strength, probably, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that would make this tough.
My first Roundtable character, which was for last season, I had like a really high intelligence and a really, really, really low strength. And I'm a hoarder and I pick everything up. And so I stayed addicted to Buff Out.
What's the drawbacks of the buff out addiction? Even lower intelligence?
I can't remember, but like it would pop up. It would pop up. You're addicted to buff out, and it's like, oh, you don't say.
What else is new?
Yeah, my first thought was strength also, but if you think about it for a second, for me, luck, having a low luck would kill me just because I would want starch genes or class freak, at least enough points to equip those cards.
I think my favorite group of cards. In 76 for usefulness is probably in the strength category, but my favorite as far as just like funniness, hilarity, sort of. I don't know. And they also like crafting useful and stuff. Luck has the best cards. I think they have the best. Strength might be the most useful, but luck has the best cards. Also, charisma. If my charisma was 1, it especially in this game when you can team up, that would just be horrible.
Yeah.
Because I love sharing cards. Especially if I level 3 and up. I need my charisma to be 9 so I can always constantly share my level 3 bloody mess,
I think it would be really hard with the low intelligence because there's so much utility in that bunch of cards. I'm always changing out utility stuff to do different things like repair or build or anything like that, even though it's not like I'm using them when I'm out and about so much.
And I've also slowly come to the realization over the season, I don't know why I didn't realize this before. It makes 0 sense to combine any of your cards to buff them up to another level, because combining 2 cards does not give you any sort of extra benefit to that card. It's not like they have so many slots of cards, they have number of cards. So if you have 2 level 1 cards, that counts the same against the special card that you can bring up to the activated card. So you should never ever combine any of your cards, because once you level up later on in the game, if you have a level 2 card and then you have to respec your character and drop 1 category down 1, then all of a sudden you've changed the number of cards you can, and you can't split those cards back apart to use them again. So now my level 2 card that I maxed up 38 levels ago has now fucked me 38 levels later because I can't use it anymore because I respec my character. Now I have to go back and get a level 1 level of that card. So it doesn't make any sense ever to combine any cards, right?
Well, depends on the card, right?
Yeah, I mean, like starch genes, you couldn't have 2 level 1 starch gene cards and
we can't have 2 of those loaded. Oh, because level 2 is the one that gives that benefit. Okay,
right.
And you can't play 2 separate level 1 cards of anything. If you put one up, the other one will fall back down.
Right.
Yep.
And like Slugger starts out at what, 10%, and then adds another 5 at level 2, and then another 5 at level 3.
Well, there's the Slugger guys who like to only get the first level of the 3 different cards and not buff up the next 2 levels of each card. They only get the first level because it is 10% each.
Yeah.
Who knows? God, so you really do have to go back and get another level 1 card then. But I'm starting to bank. I got like 10 extra levels, so I could start getting extra level 1 cards again. It's not like they prevent how many cards you can carry or anything, thank God.
Yeah, and you still run into a situation where when you get a deck, you might get a level 1 card that you already have a level 3 card of.
Yeah, and it's still only every 5 levels. That's so slow these days. I'm up, I'm on level 140 something or other. So every 5 levels is happening pretty slow these days. That challenge, like the daily challenge of level up, do this, and this. Like I'm not leveling up every day like I used to. Makes me miss that weekend, that fond weekend we had of double XP where I leveled up like 8 times in a 3-day period.
That was beautiful.
That was amazing.
They may do it again.
I hope they do, because I didn't get to participate in that at all.
Were you working? That stinks.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it wasn't that I was working. It's I've started a new job in a new field, and getting used to the different type of exhaustion it's really done a number on me.
Yeah, everything sucks at first, right? Most things
Yeah.
getting used to. I'm bad at change, so getting used to the new job would be really the hard part, you know.
I am really bad at change, and I am very socially awkward. And like, I can fake it around you guys because we all like the same thing. But you put me with like normal people, and it's like, holy fuck. There's people, and I.
The worst.
Well, whenever I was a hairstylist at JCPenney, they would want us to go out into the salon and bring people in. And I'm like, okay, I can't talk to the people out there. I can talk to them in here, but I can't talk to them out there, because what's going to happen is I'm going to be out there and I'm going to be like, you guys have hair. I do hair. You should come back with me. And then they're going to walk away, and they're going to they're like, they let mentally challenged people work in that salon. You don't want to go there.
Like the managers are like, okay, everyone except Sarah, please. Try to recruit people. She's making people run away from the store.
Yeah. Hey, you look like you could use a haircut.
Well, they might just assign you a translator.
Please quit swinging scissors wildly at people as they walk by.
But yeah, that's the reason why whenever, you had asked me to roll a character last roundtable, I was like, you don't understand. I'm a spaz. I am a dork, and I'm a spaz, and I don't know how to communicate with people. My family's used to it.
We're used to it now, too.
But I feel like at least I know this about myself, and I've accepted it, and I've embraced it, and it is what it is, and, we can move on now.
But you're one of everyone's favorite feedback participants as well. Everyone loves your feedback. So. You're a great story lies within that little bit of chaos, right?
Thank you. My daughter's not happy with my feedback.
Yeah, tell me about that. Let's talk about that. You sent in an email, which I read, and
yes, you did a very good job. You put the emphasis in the right parts. She said you finished the story wrong. Yeah, I finished the story wrong. So she reads the email, and because she was wondering how I ended it, because she likes to listen. She really liked Rebecca's story last season, and she enjoys it. And she writes fan fiction, likes to read and everything, and so she really gets involved. And so she reads it, and she hands me my phone back because she was reading it on my phone, and she looks at me and she goes, "Mom, they get together, right?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. That's where the story ends." And I was like, "She leaves, West Virginia," and she's like, "But Mom, they have to get together." And I was like, "Okay, at best, Bradley hasn't seen Jack since she was 9 years old." So this whole relationship has pretty much been in her head this whole time. So she's also a crazy person. And at best, she is wandering around some wasteland with a cartoon picture that she has drawn going, "Have you seen this guy? I'm looking for him. Have you seen him?" So, I mean, I don't know if they get together or not. But yeah, but she's very much, and like she'll come downstairs and she just glares at me and she shakes her head and she'll go to the kitchen. So she's very, this has been going on for like 3 weeks now, y'all. And she's very much not happy with me. But she likes a good happy ending, good love story and all that. But she's 15. What can you say?
She's gonna go online and start a petition for new writers. To rewrite the story.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine if we let her watch Game of Thrones.
So your character continues to wander on. Where is your character's camp at?
Her camp, the last time I've not logged back into the character. Her camp was near Point Pleasant. Do you know where the I can't think of the name of it, the cabins that are haunted?
Yes, I don't know the name, but I know the cabins. I came across it like a week ago. Have you guys been to that place? The haunted cabin in the forest?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, when we visit Sarah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, Lee and I discovered it. Yeah, the Alpine River cabins.
Yeah, there you go.
Lee and I discovered them whenever we were playing the beta, and I've always liked that area. But
yeah, I stumbled across it. And my guy was running around, and I was like collecting stuff to build camp, and I went into the one cabin, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm like, what the fuck? Did that picture just move? and then I usually don't play with any music, so I'm just hearing the sounds, and so then all of a sudden I'm like hearing screams. I'm like, what the hell was that?
Now, if I'm not playing with someone, I listen to the music. I really love music from like the 40s and the 50s. I grew up listening to it. And so I really enjoy it. But if I'm playing with people, because it's hard to hear your people that you're talking to over the music, I listen to the, just the soundtrack in game. So.
Yep, it's pretty creepy.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna have to look that place up. Maybe I've been there. I'm one of those. I have no idea what you're talking about until you actually take me and be like, "Oh yeah, this place. I've been here before."
I do that sometimes too.
Screaming in the background is what you know.
Yeah, and the doors open and close on their own too.
I remember a similar sort of experience at the creepy church where the organ plays mysteriously out east, right?
I haven't been there. That sounds interesting.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Go ahead, Steve.
Let's figure out what that is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt where you were trying to point out where it was, but I was going to say that on the new random character generator, we've added a little bit around the camp zone, because we have the camp zone, but we'll also have a camp resource to try and find to make your camp around. Yeah.
Is there anything that people are going to run into trouble where you got the Savage Divide, but there is no lead extractor in the Savage Divide anywhere?
Yeah, probably. Probably. But
I mean, I don't know that specific example. That's probably a bad example. There's probably 8 lead extractors in the Savage Divide. But, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. And people, if you want to try and find them, because I mean, I don't see it really happening too organically. If you have like a really weird one, because you just don't see some of those spots. But there are maps out there, so people need to look at them, figure out if there's a place where they can build their camp.
That's probably the best way to go about it, actually. Yeah.
It seems like a thing I just noticed, like, a few weeks ago is, people were like at first building neat camps and stuff, but now all of a sudden it's like, ooh, what can I get out of my camp? What can I build my camp around that'll give me something, some sort of benefit in the game?
Yeah, Steve's anticipating rants during people's feedbacks. So he's been practicing his evil laugh.
You know what you tell them, Steve? If you're a real 76 player, you'll figure it out.
Totally. Yeah. I was playing 2 characters. So my regular guy, and then Gouverneur, my character from this feedback, and my other character had built a camp that I really enjoyed, and then last night I was on there with Gouverneur and went across where the camp was, and somebody else had built a camp there, and I was like, oh, let me go check out how they took advantage of this. And you know what? From aesthetics, they pretty much had it organized the same exact way that I did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because it's got water and it's got a junk extractor, but there's like a weird cliff. It seems like they like to make the landscape around the different resources interesting. So we'll have to see how people build around it.
Yeah, they do that on purpose so that when you fast travel, you land at the fucking bottom of the cliff, and you're like, God damn it, every time.
Or like Christian's camp, where you would fast travel there and then you would fall off the cliff and die. That was always fun.
Yay, thanks. I set a death chair up. Like you set a chair up close enough to the edge, and you approached it, and you sit in it from behind. But like when you stand up,
Yeah.
your feet are hanging over the cliff, and you just drop off and die. Death chair.
Good times.
We now
Like
have
when
more
we had
beard
one
in
of
the
them.
podcast.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, I can honestly say that whenever people build their houses on the side of cliffs and everything in Fallout 76, it is very true to the region. Because people here, which here being in Kentucky, which is close to, will slap a house anywhere. Like we're talking in bends in the road and everything, there'll be a house there. It's just crazy. I need to take some pictures for you guys to show you what I'm talking about because you wouldn't believe it.
Cool. Simon's joined us.
Yep, back in.
Some of the North Queensland bird life is interrupting here, by the way.
Well, you do live a wonderful tropical place where all the wildlife will kill you. So you have to respect them, or they will team up and kill you somehow.
Yeah.
Just close the door. It should be a bit quieter.
Yeah, Clint became my person that, like, if I see something that's supposed to happen, or be going on in Australia, I'll tag him in it, and I'll be like, "Hey, does this really go on there?"
It's mostly, yep.
Because some things that you see, it seems, just too bizarre to believe.
Beware the budgies.
And those who smuggle them.
Smuggling budgies.
Oh no.
Yep. It's a type
Undies,
of swimwear.
togs. Undies, togs. Undies, togs.
We don't need that mental image.
One of our temporary prime ministers was famous for wearing them all the time.
Wearing budgie smugglers. Yeah.
Is that why he was only temporary?
He just lost his seat recently.
Oh, well, I guess he'll have to walk from here on out.
Wait.
Speaking of clothes, we've added more variety in the random character generator to what you'll be able to equip and stuff. We put some, like added power armor, and so you can choose between like T45 or Exo or Raider. Sweet. Build up that Raider suit of armor.
No, don't make me wear Raider.
Hey, I rocked Raider power armor this season.
Yeah.
What
There's
was
a
that?
couple of Atom Shop skins for them too now. They're kind of ugly, but sorry if anybody loves them.
Well, they're less ugly than the armor.
Well, I mean, at least I could go into the nuke zones. That's basically what I was wearing it for. I'm not a power armor person. Like, I like the idea of it, but I don't like running around, going clunk, 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 clunk.
Does Raider level up pretty high? Can you get it up to 45, 50, something like that?
45.
I was gonna say I have no idea.
I find 45 out there. Different places.
Imagine you can get where you could craft it.
If there's anything you should be able to craft, it's Raider.
Yeah, totally. I think it's one of the gimme, like, make power armor plans that you get, right?
Yeah, just keep adding scrap until there aren't any holes.
Well, I do have to admire the ingenuity of Raider armor in general, because they're like, hey, let's slap a birdcage on your head and you're going to look really fierce and awesome. And you have to have the personality to go along with it.
Maybe it's one of those Australian budgies again.
There you go. Raptors.
So, Simon, why don't you tell us a little bit about your character, a brief introduction, what you first thought of when you got your role, where your character ended up, and that sort of stuff.
Well, I think my character kind of. I'm just bringing it back up again after I crashed out. My character kind of went where I thought he was going to go. He mostly, at any rate, he was kind of favoring shooting kind of skills, a bit snipery, but not as much as I normally would. And I've stayed kind of semi-auto rifles and shotguns most of the way through.
Your normal play style would be like sniper rifle, sneaking from afar type thing.
Not generally so sneaky. Just kind of run in and shoot everything and try not to die first. So I've definitely been doing a lot more sneaking than I would have been doing, and actually snipering properly. And
it's the opposite of what I thought. You're doing more sneaking now.
And
usually
I've left things like the assault rifles behind, which I normally would have been keeping as a backup, and kind of playing smarter, I hope. So he was supposed to be he was aligned to the Raider faction, so I was kind of playing him in that way, kind of very self-centered, kind of sort myself out and screw the world, and he just felt he was going back the authoritarian way, so I think he's definitely more of an Enclave guy by the end of it all.
It brings up a wonderful question. With all the NPCs dead, how do you guys rope in your assigned faction into your character's background? I mean, because like we're pushed out of Vault 76. Why are we going to be a raider all of a sudden? You know what I mean? Like how do you guys work that?
It doesn't.
You know what I mean?
I couldn't really. Well, I didn't anyway. Whatever about anybody else, I didn't really find a way to bring it into a play style so much as an attitude style. So when I was kind of writing up feedback and things, I was trying to think of things from that perspective. But in terms of gameplay, not so much.
I think all it takes is attitude, because it was the rich tourists who wound up becoming the raiders because they thought they were better than everybody else. That's the storyline, anyway.
I did it with Gardner. She was supposed to be Raiders faction, but I just played it because of the other characteristics she had that she certainly was interested in to see what they're about. Went and had a look, and spending time with Rose made her decide not to join the Raiders.
Rose's great recruitment policies.
I had free states, and I just kind of built it in, a background thought in the head that he was, one of the best and brightest, meant to lead people, but then that didn't work out because nobody wanted to be led by him. So so he decided that, free states, everybody, you're on your own.
So boil it down for me, Steve. The free states, what is their like motto or their elevator pitch? Tell me how you work that in.
Oh, I just have it in the background of my head that's kind of what he leans towards. So he's.
But I mean, what do they stand for? Who are the free states? Tell me what.
Independent. Yeah, they're kind of bunkery crazy people, but hey, were they wrong? Right?
I mean, they weren't wrong.
They weren't wrong in this case, for the game wise. But so they're independent. They don't want to be ruled by the government. Which was funny because one of the big guys, what was his name? Sam Blackwell. That guy. He was like the governor. Yeah. Senator.
Yeah, state senator.
The senator was a free state guy. Yeah. Like kind of anti-government, but he's a senator.
Well, I mean, that has direct correlation to the United States government system now. Working man from the inside.
True. Crazies get in everywhere.
Yes.
We have our fair share of them here.
Everywhere does.
Yeah. Well, in my character, Hazel, he was assigned responders, and I kind of wrote it for him that, the overseer, had requested, that we follow the responders and join the fire breathers and do that movement. And to me, at first, I was like, he's just like, everything's dead. Why am I going to waste my time doing this? But then, and this actually happened in the game, in my very first quest and playthrough, one high level player came up and they dropped off some power armor for him, just to try to be nice, and then they ran off. And so I just kind of thought that inspired him, that there are actually people out there still alive and they are helping others, and so it made him want to do good and help others.
I was also a responder, but my character ended up piecing out.
Who'd you end up settling with?
Well, I never did get to finish anything. So that's the reason I had originally intended for her to finish everything and leave West Virginia. That was the end game for her. It just ended up being that she left a lot sooner than what I intended her to. So, it worked out really well because of the way that I wrote her doing the overseer's personal missions. And there was a lot of parallel between what she was going through and what the overseer had done as far as Evan went. And, it really turned her against the overseer. So she was like, fuck y'all, I'm leaving. You can have your Scourge Beast and, all of that, and I'm going to go over here and play by myself.
Where's she going?
Okay.
Where are they going? Leaving West Virginia. Where
Just
to?
leaving. No idea. Just away.
Elsewhere.
Anybody have any shitty draws that they didn't like? Their character started one way, had cards that you were assigned that you didn't bother even getting. You didn't see the point. You didn't even use. I definitely had one that I didn't even bother getting. There was one that I had that I almost never used, and one that I didn't even bother getting. Anybody have any shitty deals?
My faction was Enclave, and I just never imagined doing anything with it.
You're launching nukes, aren't you, babe?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I had Natural Resistance was one of the cards I was assigned, and I kept it at rank 2 for basically the entire time, and I could not tell that it did a single thing.
Tell me about it. What does it do?
It's supposed to reduce your chance of disease against the environment, and at first okay, maybe that'll help, and I have two characters. With my other character, I feel like I don't get any more environments not using that card than Hazel, the Roundtable character, I was using. And I would use it. I would run through the water in the mire and think, well, I should be safe. I have natural resistance, but apparently that doesn't count as environmental factors. So I would still get, whatever waterborne diseases and stuff.
What? How does water not count as an environmental thing?
I don't know. I guess it's I guess they're talking about from weather and stuff. Maybe I was still getting it. That's
what from rain
storms and rad storms, I guess. But I was definitely getting them from running through the water, and I had it at rank 2. So
all right, I'm glad you said rad storms because there were some challenges a couple weeks ago to do complete stuff during rad storms. Other than nuke zones, I don't see rad storms in this game nearly as often as Fallout 4.
I have only seen one once.
They're so infrequent compared to 4.
They are infrequent. I've heard. I still haven't seen too many, but I did hear with one of the more recent patches that they've increased the frequency of them because people were complaining about that.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit more, but not a lot. Not like 4.
Yeah, 4 it was.
For my camp, I can see out over the forest. And so I see him off in the distance more than I see him at my camp.
How does a rainstorm from a distance differ from a rad storm from a distance? Is it just by color? Do the rad storms still have all the same streaking in the sky and stuff?
Yeah, the green.
So I had I was moving some luck points around the other day, and you know how you level up cards, and so you've got like a level 3 this, and then you go, oh well, I want to add this one card, and oh shoot, that's the one I'm going to replace. So now I have to move out the whole 3, but I have 2 spaces left to put a card in.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, and then how you totally, when you get a 5-card pack, you get like a bunch of junk usually, and even though you're super excited, you're like, oh my god, what am I going to get? 5 cards. And I got 2 Storm Chaser cards, and Storm Chaser gives you gain health regeneration while outside during rain or rad storms. And I was like, that's totally useless. But I had 2 of them, so I leveled it up to a level 2 and I put it on. And then because just recently they did up the level of like rad storms, I've actually run across it twice, and like I noticed that my health ticks up. Well,
Yay.
Go figure, that's a weird card.
I am super duper spoiled by the mutation that gives you 300% health regeneration. I forget what that was
Healing
called.
factor, yeah.
Healing factor. I'm super spoiled by that. My son and I loaded up his like level 15 character that doesn't really have many mutations or anything, and I was just like, this character can't jump. His health doesn't regenerate. Why am I even playing this character? This sucks. Like, it's really funny. It's like I'm so spoiled by all these superhuman mutations that you get.
Yeah, I used to live off the sweet tater stew because that gave health regeneration, not as fast as healing factor. But then as soon as I got healing factor, I was, quick crafting the stews almost immediately.
So did your 4-year-old tell you to man up?
Yeah, we loaded up Skyrim as well, and he asked where all the scorched and ghouls went.
Yeah, Toby doesn't like Skyrim as well as he does Fallout either. And I'm like, but there's dragons, and he's like, yeah, that's whatever, And right now his thing is Call of Duty. He's been playing Call of Duty and they play it on the winter mode where like you shoot Christmas magic, and instead of dead bodies there's presents and that kind of stuff.
Oh, there you go.
And so they were talking like before I got on, and Toby was like, yeah, I like Call of Duty because you kill people and you take their dog tags. And I'm like, what have you been letting him do, my sweet baby boy?
You're playing the wrong mode, Toby.
Supposed to use the flower gun.
Anytime my husband lets him do anything that I'm not okay with, like Bishop will tell you, he's like, now don't tell Mom. And as soon as I walk in the door, we did this.
Yeah, I so far I haven't started doing that yet. Like, but I can tell that we're about there. We're about to don't Mom face and almost keep secrets.
Yeah, it used to always be with my son, like, all right, don't tell Mom. If she asks, you have to tell her. But, but don't volunteer that.
Like, Toby is really into the X-Men right now. Like, he wants to wear ripped jeans and white beaters to school, so he looks like Logan. And I'm having to explain to him, well, you can't really do that. And so my husband let him watch a scene from the second Deadpool movie with the Juggernaut, and I'm like, what are you doing? We don't even let the teenager watch this movie.
Oh, the Juggernauts in the Deadpool movies?
The second one. Nice. He's a character in it. But like, I mean, he didn't let him watch anything bad or anything like that. But still, I was like, I can't believe you did that.
I haven't seen those Deadpool movies. Did those count as like the Marvel U? Are those in the Marvel?
They
movie?
are in the X-Men universe, which I guess is being...
They're made by Fox Films or whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so, like...
but Spider-Man is back now,
Spider-Man
right?
is back, yeah, and Marvel Disney does own the rights to X-Men now. So there's that. Not sure how I feel about that. But they're getting ready to reboot everything.
You're gonna get Diet Wolverine and Cyclops Jr.
There's a certain darkness with the X-Men movie that, yeah, the the Marvel U movies do get dark, but not in the same way. There's still that light, kind of campy humor with the not the Deadpool movies, the Marvel movies. Not so much in the one that just came out, though. I'm still not emotionally okay.
No.
Oh, I cried for an hour in that movie.
During the movie?
During the movie, yeah. Yeah, went opening night to see it, cried for an hour. Yeah.
Have you been back to see it a second time yet?
No, I haven't seen it a second time yet. I've only watched Infinity War twice, all the way through, and once was at the movies. I do love it. Once was at the movies, and then we do family movie night on Tuesdays. And before we went and seen Endgame, we watched it that Tuesday. So. Now I've seen bits and pieces of it here and there. But I like my daughter has a huge crush on Tom Holland. And so I like to tag her and stuff from the movie before it, like where he's disappearing and that kind of stuff. And she's like, Mom, that's not even cool.
Is that Spider-Man or Loki?
Spider-Man.
Both Tom. Who's Loki?
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, I never really loved Spider-Man, and he was always all of my friends' favorite comic book character was always Spider-Man. I was always a Batman guy, and everyone's always like, "Oh, Spider-Man's the best." And until I saw this guy, I'm like, okay, this guy really fucking nails Spider-Man. I think. I think he is.
My husband's a big Spider-Man fan, always has been, and August, my daughter, has just recently, since Tom Holland. Let's be real. Since Tom Holland took over as Spider-Man, she's a Spider-Man fan now. And back at Christmas, we had found this, at Walgreens, we had found a snow globe that had Spider-Man in it, and it played the Itsy Bitsy Spider. And there's only one of them. and my husband justified why he needed it, and my daughter did.
She's a fake fan.
She's not a real Spider-Man fan. So
this will come up in therapy in future years.
It's on his desk, but her best friend bought her one for Christmas, so it balanced out in the end.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem until she's 30.
Oh, right. She's gonna need therapy for so many other things, y'all. No, she's a good kid.
Ray, I know you struggled with the cards dealt with Ty for some reason. Was there anything that you ignored from the build, or anything that you wish that was dealt differently?
Well, probably I struggled to get him up to a level that I could actually get starch genes. I think one of the mistakes that I made with him was that I really only did the mainline quests. So he was really low level. So he was level 33 last time I played him, which was he was trying to get to become a general in the Enclave.
Ooh.
And so he was not very powerful.
Yeah.
He had a level 11 in strength, but most of those levels didn't come until the levels between 45 and 50. So I think at that point he was like a 6 in strength.
Yeah, that was one thing about the random character generator this time, was that as we learned more about how the different specials interacted, you could, if you were going strictly by what was assigned, it was like, man, I need to go this way, and I just can't,
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't. It was really good for the middle of the game. He was doing great. It was easy to to get through the quests, but you know, by the time we got through the Brotherhood of Steel, you know, it was getting really evident. I couldn't even get from my camp, which was right across the street from Fort Defiance. I couldn't even get to the front door of Fort Defiance, you know, without getting killed. And there was a group of Scorch that spawned every time I tried to cross the road.
Brad, it would have been so much better if you'd had some companions.
And that begs the question, why did the Scorch cross the road?
I was totally thinking that.
to kill Ty Cobb Cronin.
Exactly.
To get a cranberry meatball grinder.
They just wanted his purified water.
They were just going to work, weren't they?
Yeah, you guys, please, we can make a deal. Would you like 40 purified water? Please?
Just look the other way and let me cross the road.
Who knows?
But,
maybe they're like vampires or with sunlight or like gremlins. Like, what is it? Who doesn't like water? Those aliens in the fucking Terrible Signs movie that splash water on them or something. Maybe they'll just eat you. Never mind.
Now, see, I liked the Signs movie, but I had issues with it. Like the whole water thing. Why would you go to a planet that's covered in, you know, how much % of what can kill you?
Yeah.
And you can lock it. And you can lock it in the pantry.
Yeah, they did all their
geez.
They did all their training in Australia.
So, and then, you know, Ty also struggled because about towards the end of February, I started building Abby, and she quickly became so much fun to play that it was Cobb who.
Well, yeah, Abby's fun to be around, but you just have to watch your back around her because she might try to eat you.
Just the parts you're not using.
I did resort to cannibalism for the first time last night because for some reason my food bar has been disappearing the last few days. I don't know what's changed, but yeah, I have to eat some ghouls.
Now, I have used cannibalism, but I gave into peer pressure because so I was doing the Rose Quest, and you know you get cannibalism for that, and then you have to eat the ghoul or whatever. And I had Clint and Eddie, and I wanted to say Lee and Ray, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got to eat the ghoul, you got to eat the ghoul," and I was like, "Damn it, guys, I don't want to eat the ghoul."
Yeah.
So I gave into peer pressure, and I was a cannibal for a little while.
Yeah, Bethesda made sure we all had that card, didn't they?
Yeah, they gave.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember wondering, like, when I had that idea that, you know, you learned David was Rose's former lover or whatever, and I was just like, you know, what if I went cannibal on David, you know, and Rose saw that, like, how would she react?
No.
It's like you know, I thought it would have been neat if they had written something in, you know, like
That would have been interesting.
that she reacted to that. But speaking of the cannibal perk, both my characters that I play with have the herbivore mutation, and you know I do all these little experiments all the time, and the cannibal perk does work if you have the herbivore mutation. You get the gain from the meat eating for that. So, just
How about
thought I'd mention that.
who's got the ghoulish card?
So I've got one level of ghoulish on Abby.
I just started using it.
I was hoping someone could explain to me how it works. It's supposed to be that radiation regenerates health, I believe. Does that mean I want to go hop in the toxic pool and get 30 rads per second? And will the rads that I'm getting then go away and turn into health? How does the card work?
You'll still receive radiation, so you could eventually take too much radiation and die. It's just your health meter will recharge up to your radiation point.
But it doesn't make the radiation go away.
No, I don't think so. So that's the reason when we were playing with Dwight, he was using the ghoulish card, and I was sharing Rad Sponge, and so what he was saying is the way it would work is the ghoulish would continually regenerate his health, but every now and then that rad sponge would kick in, because it kicks in and spurts. It's not just continuous reduction, and it would kick in, reduce some radiation, and then he would see his health meter like kind of catch back up to that, so that he was always kind of at full health with 0 radiation.
All right, the Rat Sponge, I love that card. You get near someone and it can help take your teammates' radiation away. If you have high level in it, it works really well. If you have charisma of 9, you share the full Rad Sponge to your team so that they have Rad Sponge, so that you also get the benefit. That's also really fun.
Yeah,
I
I've
like doing it that
found
way.
I keep it. I don't have my charisma at 9. I think my charisma is at 8, or is it 6? I forgot. But it's so that I can share just a second rank of Rad Sponge. That's specifically why I keep it at 6. And that seems to work well enough. Like, just that I don't have to worry about radiation if I'm on a team.
Yeah,
Rad Sponge. It specifically works well if you're in a nuke zone. Because you've got that that constant, you're always in a battle. Because the other thing is it really doesn't do you any good if you have healing factor and you're out of combat, because healing factor just automatically boom, you're back up to full health, up to your rad meter. But if you're in a constant battle like you are in a nuke zone, it's handy to have a level of ghoulish in there just to help you, keep that health regenerating until you're out of battle.
Yeah, and that's what I meant when I was saying Dwight was using that. We were in a nuke zone when he was doing that. So.
Yeah. So, if you don't have the Rad Sponge card, it's not called sunlit. It's not called sunbathing, but there's one that being in the sun-kissed. There you go. Will ghoulish and sun-kissed work well together?
Suppose they could. I don't know. Well, because sun-kissed. Actually, I don't know. I haven't tried that. But sun-kissed is just kind of like the slow, gradual regeneration of it. So.
Yeah, I didn't know if those were two that should be used in tandem, or if that didn't make sense.
So that's just during the day. Yeah.
Is there a night radiation reduction one? There isn't, is there?
Not that I can think of offhand. There's night cards, but not for radiation reduction.
All the
There's one that gives you plus max health at night.
Nocturnal Fortitude. Yeah, you get plus 20 on the first level and plus 40 on the second, between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m.
And then there's those nocturnal weapons and stuff that do more damage at night. Anybody built a vampire character yet? There was that vampire clothing out for a while.
No, I get
no, but I love mine.
I
love my vampire shotgun.
No, I always wanted to be a vampire slayer, though.
See, that's interesting.
Buffy build.
The vampire legendary effect is you drain health from people, I guess. It's kind of like the Skyrim power of vampirism, where you, instead of sucking people's blood, you're just draining their essence or whatever.
I didn't enjoy Skyrim vampires. I was really disappointed with them.
They're the worst. Oh, they're terrible.
And I didn't enjoy the werewolf curse either in that game. I did the companions quest, and then as soon as I could, I got rid of werewolf. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I usually do as well.
Yeah, Gouverneur has 2 shotguns that he takes out with him. One's a combat shotgun that's does really high damage, and then when he gets low on health, he just switches to his other shotgun, which is a pump vampire shotgun, and just helps boom, 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 gets his health back up. It's kind
your
of
shotgun cards. What's your shotgun layout card wise?
The shotgun layout is I have pretty much all the shotgun stuff leveled up. Here, I've got it.
There's
we go.
obviously shotgunner, expert shotgunner,
Yep.
and master shotgunner. There's the obvious ones, but there's a bunch of like little ones throughout there that like do extra like puncture damage and like stagger damage here and there, stuff like that too. What are the?
Yeah. Scatter shot. Shotguns weigh 90% less, and you reload them 30% faster. Sucks reloading shotguns. Especially the pump ones, because you have to like put them all in individually.
Oh yeah.
So I do have a level 3 in that. Shotgunner. I took one in each of those, the expert and master, so only level 1 of those. And skeet shooter. Shotguns have excellent accuracy and spread.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there's also way over in agility. So let's see. Skeet shooter was a perception skill perk point. And enforcer is over in agility, and your shotguns gain a 15% stagger chance and a 30% chance to cripple a limb. So
Just learning how underrated those cards are, the stagger and cripple cards.
Oh yeah.
Have you determined, Will? Do they actually work on Scorch Beast? Can you cripple their wings so that they don't take off?
I have not determined that for sure yet. I did try to use it again, like just on a Scorch Beast queen, and she didn't stay down the entire time this time. But when I was doing it with Jen, I just combined Dwight and Jen. When I was doing it with Jen, I was sharing that card with her, so it was both of us, like using that card, and I'm wondering if that's maybe just why it never took off. Again, I don't know for sure that is why, but that did happen. It landed that first time, and it just never could get up again.
I hope that's the thing, because that would be a great way to get around this whole keeping the Scorch Beast queen on the ground. Yeah. It's just terrible sometimes. Hey, Clint and Charlene, what have you guys been getting to in up game, in game recently? Are you guys able to play while you're on the road?
No, we're not. We both play on desktop PCs, so they had to leave them at home. And my little laptop isn't strong enough, I'm afraid. So we're missing out on all this new stuff that's happening the last couple of weeks.
Oh gosh! So, what? Back to the camera. Have you done the camera stuff?
Yeah, I managed the camera one, and I got most of the. What's the one when you make the camera and you've got to go through and get all the pictures? I think we managed that.
Yeah.
Bucket list.
The bucket list.
The one.
And then and we've done photographic, I think, for Scouts, the tadpole.
Oh, nice.
Photographic one. Yeah.
Those are fun.
I've been enjoying that. Yeah, it's been fun. It's there's been a couple of times where Clint and Lee have helped me out finding critters and been able to get photos that I might not have normally got.
Yeah, I was trying to get a picture of a chicken today, and unfortunately the Assaultron that was nearby didn't like me doing that, so I had to give up and get a picture of the chicken.
Oh.
She was being a real bitch about it.
They usually are.
But we did spend a bit of time saying farewell to Gardner, because she's gone now that the Roundtable season finished.
Did you delete the file? It's gone?
Yep.
The folder?
Yep. Yeah.
Burned it up?
She gave away all of the stuff to other characters. Which is a mum and dad. So
that's a good idea.
She decided to leave, and went and swam the Ohio River and is heading for Cincinnati or something, I think. But no more in this game.
That is something that we're going to have to consider. We only have 5 character save files. Ray, that's going to drive you nuts here pretty soon, I think. So what are we going to do with character? Like, when you have to kill off a character, you have to have an event. You have to have a going out of sale, a funeral, some sort of going away present, right? For these guys, you can't let this stuff go to waste, right?
No, I've had to just kick them to the curb.
You've already come to that threshold. You've already surpassed 5.
Oh yeah, I've gotten rid of both of my beta characters, my alpha character, which was the first one I did after it went live, and who else? I got rid of one of my characters. One of the ones that I actually named. So
I think he's counting down to getting rid of Ty.
He said, did you guys notice he said both of my beta characters? The beta, how long was the beta? Like a week, wasn't it? You made 2 characters in the beta?
Well,
I had 2 characters for beta.
Yeah, you have to,
Really?
You guys are
see
crazy.
what it's like.
But this is Ray we're talking about. Ray has to have at least 2 beta characters, maybe 3.
So when alternate start mod, that's like your favorite thing ever, Ray. When am I going to be able to come out of a different vault or something?
Yeah, we'll have to see what we can do once private servers come along.
What do you think those vaults are reserved for? For that sort of thing, or for DLC?
No, that's DLC. Yeah, I think they'll all be part of new content.
Yeah, they're going to give us a tablespoon and tell us to build our own vault.
Now, see, I need somebody to mod me time to actually be able to play. If you guys can come up with a mod for my work terminal
to sort the mail.
To sort the mail, yes, to sort the mail and process the mail. If you can come up with something to do that, that would be great.
Oh, and it has to look just like you.
Exactly. Which, I mean, I guess I actually got it's pretty funny, and I don't even know what this means. But I had a lady that I work with ask me who dresses me. And I sat there and I'm like, are you trying to be catty? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So
Is
apparently...
Is she from the north or from the south?
No, she's from here. She's from the south. So, but...
Oh, yeah, I was insulted.
She was being very catty. And
Bless her soul.
I sometimes dress like a functioning adult. I mean, 90% out of the time, yeah, I'm wearing a nerdy t-shirt. Sometimes I'm wearing multiple nerdy things at the same time. Y'all just don't know it. What does that even mean?
Well, I mean, who am I going to throw stone at? I'm wearing a red t-shirt with a Mexican wrestling mask on from my local taqueria.
Well, at least I'm wearing my Nuka-Cola t-shirt.
That's a good t-shirt.
Clint, I'm so bummed that the people working at the Red Rocket hot dog stand or whatever didn't get your Nuka-Cola t-shirt. Like, they should know that, right?
No, they had no idea whatsoever. And we should have brought it up, I suppose. We didn't, but
that is sad.
I don't think he would have got it.
yeah, I don't think he would have even understood what a computer game was. He was
That should be taught to the employees in training. Yeah.
But at least they didn't do to you what the 12-year-old did to me whenever he seen my Fallout tattoo, which was go, Fallout fucking sucks. And I'm like, you kissed your mother with that mouth.
You have a tattoo with Fallout on it?
Yes, I have a I can actually pull up a picture of it for you. It's a pinup girl holding a pair of hair cutting shears. Her name's Eleanor. But yeah, I have a Fallout tattoo.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think you posted it once.
Yeah, I posted it right after I got it. I got it for my birthday.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
I think that the guys working at the hot dog stand, when you walked away, said, I bet that guy has no idea that he's wearing a Nuka-Cola shirt.
That guy probably doesn't even know what a video game is.
Yeah, that's so funny. He probably has no idea what Fallout is.
No, he very much.
I thought he did a good job
North
of holding it.
Queensland we're talking about.
I thought
Or,
he did a good job holding the soda so it didn't show the coca part.
Oh, that was on purpose.
I know.
Yeah, I've had people like my husband's aunt, my Fallout posters. She's seen them and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love your Coca-Cola posters." And so my husband tried to explain it to her like, "Oh, it's a video game thing," and she's like, "But it's like Coca-Cola, right?" And it's like, "Yeah, but with way more nuclear radiation."
And she slowly puts down her glass.
I mean, have you seen that Tanawa bottling plant? It's full of nuclear radiation.
The fizz burns in a really different kind of way.
All right, I popped up a picture of my tattoo in the chat for you, Charlene.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sarah Voss, are you still hanging out?
I'm here.
All right. After Steve's thought here, we're going to hop into a sound file here for a second. Steve, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, I was just going to tell the little story really quick about how when I was getting on the train to go to work here, and I see that the guy sitting next to me has a Brotherhood of Steel logo on his messenger bag on his lap. So I haven't seen him again.
No one has seen him again.
They all died.
No, I ended up talking to him. His name is Steve, but he's never. I've never seen him on the train again. I told him about the show. I was like, "Hey, man, you should check out the show." He looked like he's skewed towards our demographic, so I was like, "Yeah, man."
Did you tell him that you are actually Minutemen loyal?
Yeah, you guys were talking about the responders earlier, and how we can mold the roles into your character. I always felt that the responders were easily the easiest to put into the background of your character. Much like I felt like it was the Minutemen in Fallout 4, but that's also because those are the first people you run into, the first people you get support from, the first people that you help out, and the first people that you interact with in general.
Yeah, but and also both of those, they seem to have just the smallest agenda. Like all the other factions, they have a specific thing that they're working towards, rather than everyone in general.
They're sort of just like let's help people.
Yeah.
Both of them, you know.
Yeah, but in Fallout 4, it really skews your experience depending on what you pick, and in Fallout 76, it doesn't really seem to make too much difference.
It really doesn't matter if you join one faction; it doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
They don't like oh no, you're a member of them. You can't join our faction. Like, at Fallout 4, there came a boiling point. Like the screen actually flashed in front of you. Bam!
Yeah.
You are something that will fuck up your game. If you want to ever talk to these guys ever again without them fucking you up, then you better turn back now.
Well, yeah, that was even brutal with like Fallout New Vegas, where like if you got around, like if you were NCR loyal and you got around like the Caesar's Legion, shit was gonna go down.
Yep.
And that is one thing that I do miss in Fallout 76.
Yeah, it always annoyed me the way you just go through every faction. It's just background color. There's no substance to anything in it.
They're also all technically dead, so it's not like
Yeah, true.
they can't really have opinions.
Well, I mean, they could have ghosts.
No,
I mean, you live near the ghosts, don't you, Sarah Sailor?
Yeah, I do. There could be ghosts.
They're over in that cabin next to your camp.
And they got nothing better to do than to spin pictures.
Exactly. They are so bored that they're just spinning the pictures on the wall.
All right, while we reminisce about the dead people in this game, let's try to think of some of the more poignant story moments, if there are any. It's tough to tell stories through letters and holotapes and stuff like that. So please try to reflect on some of your favorite stories that you've heard through the game as we play, because we played the whole main storyline. try to reflect on some of those while we listen to a little bit of a sound file here that we threw together for Sarah. Sarah Vossler, your last episode here. We just wanted to say thank you for all your duties that you've performed for the Fallout feed over the last 3 seasons. We've enjoyed so deeply having you on the show, and you've meant so much to us. And here's a little farewell message from the community.
Good day, this is Leon from Texas. And I heard that Sarah was planning on leaving the podcast, so I just wanted to say thanks for all the times you've been on. Even after I quit playing 76, I still like to listen. And I really enjoyed having your opinions on the cast, and hope you can come back at some point in the future, maybe in a guest spot or something. But totally understand the whole time issue. So hope to hear more from you in the future. Have a good one.
I love that it's always different. I just really like him, and he's big, and he takes things out, and he says funny things. Pops some chems. Oh. Every time it hit me with that, I was just done. Yeah. I mean, you're going to do it. I feel like that's the way to do it. I mean, I'm there already. I enjoyed it. They're kind of hard.
Oh, all Schrader here. I just got the news that Sarah won't be a full-time host of the Fallout feed anymore. And that's understandable with rad babies and such. So, Sarah, we're all going to miss you, but we all support you too. So, do what you got to do for you and your family. And I'm sure we'll still see you online sometime. Maybe you'll destroy someone's mute fruit and get a wanted level, and we can all take turns killing you. And share stories about Christian's antics. All that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a good run. Good couple of years at least, I think. And yeah. Anyway, I wish you well, and I'll see you in the wasteland.
I mean, that's the point. I'm going to find a super sledge in a hole somewhere. In capital letters, get out. By the way, you guys, total 360, 180. What's the term here? The snooty one.
Yeah.
The one that's like, you just are constantly wet. I'm craving steak. My grandma asked me to kill somebody. I just said, I'll do it. I listened to my grandma, whatever.
Sarah, I was really sad to hear you moving on from hosting the podcast. I discovered the podcast about a year ago, and yours is one of the first voices I heard. And while I was trying to figure out why I would want to listen to a bunch of people I didn't know talk about their gameplay, your humor, your insights, and your banter with Ray and Andrew were some of the things that kept me interested long enough to realize that not only did I really like listening to others talk about their Fallout playthrough, but that this was a community I wanted to make myself part of, and I'm grateful to you for that. While I know you're not completely going away forever, the podcast certainly won't be the same without you. But I understand the challenges of time as an adult. That's why something I've been outspoken on many occasions is how time is the single most precious resource we have as human beings. So thank you for your time that you have given us. And Sarah, pioneer of the gaming bed, good luck with you and everything you do going forward. And don't be a stranger.
Go out there.
Sprinted to the bathroom. I had a shower thought, and I'm just going to get this shiz done. I need an alien companion. I feel like I need to find somebody who's like a level 180 to come running around with me. I went through the Belching Betty naked.
Well, Ray would try to kill it.
You can't.
He's tried.
If you kill him.
I'm excited to kill big shit.
Hi, Sarah. It's Clint. Charlie and I are going to miss your cheery voice on the podcast, but not to worry. We'll see you as often as we can in the wasteland. So see you around.
Pretty is important. Have fun. Do what makes you happy. Don't be a jerk. And we're done. Oh my gosh. Sarah, learn to follow through on your quest, man. Yeah, so I just make tons and tons and tons of drugs, and I sell them and I take them, and I think they're amazing. Ray does not have time for this nonsense. I think it was very nice that he picked the ones that he already didn't like. He wasn't just, murdering innocent NPCs, which is nice. Thank you.
That sounded pointed.
All right, Sarah Saylor here, laying in bed at, almost 11 o'clock at night, the night before we're getting ready to record the wrap-up show. And Sarah's last episode as one of the main hosts for the Fallout feed. And I found this community not quite a year ago. I was looking for, well, it started off because 76, Fallout 76 was getting ready to come out, and I generally play alone like most people who play Bethesda games, and I don't do a whole lot of online gaming, and my main gaming partner was, well, still is my husband Bishop, and he has no interest in playing Fallout with me. I keep trying, but But anyway, enough about me. I happened to stumble upon the Fallout feed, and I listened to a lot of episodes. I joined the Facebook group, and one of the things that, kind of drew me into this community was how awesome everybody was and how inclusive and how friendly everyone was. And a big part of that was Sarah, who is absolutely amazing. And, I know that she's not going away. She's still going to be here. But as a female gamer, it is so hard to find a community to be a part of and to be, to feel safe in, honestly, because there are so many douchebag guy gamers out there. No offense, guys, because you all are really awesome and you're the exception to the rule. But finding this community and having Sarah there was just absolutely amazing, and it makes you feel at home, and we are going to miss her so much. But we are so happy for her to, move on and do more awesome things. And I'm going to cut it off there because I could ramble on about how awesome Sarah is, but we know how awesome she is. And I will see you guys in the wasteland. Bye.
What exactly will he call you?
Hi, Sarah. Just wanted to give a quick word of thanks from all the listeners for all your insightful commentary and contributions to the show, whether it be Fallout or Skyrim related, and of course, food. We'll definitely miss your enthusiasm and humour immensely, but let's agree to never say never. I can always hope to share another Nuka-Cola, skimmer, or a tasty sweet roll someday. Love from all the listeners. See you in the wasteland. I would also like to say thoughts and prayers for Sergio and his family. We're definitely all here from you. So if you need anything, just give us a shout out. Thanks.
You're alienating some people out here. I really want to play with Ray. There's a lot of blood. Anyway, long story short, you find out that he's at the bottom of the lake. I think the death claw is pretty scary. Someday when I'm super good, I'm going to do that. I'm a bad girl.
Hi, Sarah. I hear you're moving on from the Fallout feed. That's well, you'll really be missed. I really hope maybe you might return again to be a special guest because hearing your voice on the Fallout feed and your own opinions and such is really gave a good balance to the series, and so yeah, you'll be missed. But hopefully I'll hear you in other places, and I hope maybe you'll come back again as a special guest with more input. So anyway, from now on, have good luck and all that. So have a good time. Bye.
It's awesome. Does the Robo Brain hit on you? Oh, Robo Brain! Do it.
Hi, Fallout Feed guys and gals. This is Lee Benjamin. Sarah has been a great addition to the Fallout Feed podcast. We're all better for her having been here. It is with fond memories of kindness, generosity, and wastelandish badassery that we bid farewell to Sarah and her amazing Technicolor gaming bed.
It's crazy. I tried to shoot her. 3 hours behind me.
Hey, Sarah, this is Keith calling in. I just want to tell you, thank you for everything you did during your podcast years. I think you always did a great job. You kept the guys in line and, kept the flow going. You've had some interesting stories, your ventures in the wasteland. And I do wish you well. And maybe one day you'll come back and join the podcast again as a guest. Again, thanks again. And my cousin Jeffro's in town. He wanted to say a few words too, if he can. Hold on. Jeffro! Yes. For a quick one. Quick message. All right, come on. Yes, and just speak in the phone. All right. In the phone. Sorry. Hi, y'all. This is Cousin Jeffro. How y'all doing? Sarah, I listened to the podcast too, and I just wanted to tell you, thank you for everything you did. Keith talks about it, podcasts. So one time I try to listen to it. I listen to it, as much as possible. I take care of chickens and everything outside, but I do appreciate what you've done, and and maybe you'll come back to the podcast one day. We do understand, they got to take care of family and stuff, but I know in a second. But you'd be good, and hope to see you soon, and maybe come back and be as a guest sometime. All right, you be good. Bye. All right, go back. Bye. I'm sorry. He's not all there sometimes. He's kind of crazy, but good luck to you. I understand everything. And well wishes. Take care. Bye.
Crazy awesome chat. You're pinned to the top of the Facebook group. ASA podcasting, always the bionic giblets. I will mom him until he doesn't want to play anymore. Brain not computing. You guys, my brain is not functional. Yes.
Kia ora, Sarah. It has been a blast meeting you. You are an amazing person. You are fun and funny, and you have a mischievous sense about you. One of my favorite Fallout memories of you is from the feedback episode where you went to Pickman's Gallery in Fallout 4. I believe you were there for the bobblehead. It was your character, Dominic, and you were in power armor. And you were picking locks, which you hated, and you confessed to using a mod that does it for you. And you were trying to sneak around in power armor, and that image just cracked me up of Dominic in the power suit of armor picking a lock. And then also other memories I have are the times we've been able to meet up in 76. You are always up for finding some shit to kill. Thank you for all the fun times we've had, and I'll catch up with you in the wasteland.
I like it. It needs to be on a t-shirt. No. Well, I haven't actually gotten to a level where I can be killed yet. Let a follower live. Mole owner.
Hello, Fallout Feed. As the duly authorized representative of the Indiana chapter of the Brotherhood of Steel, I am to read the following brief statement about Sarah's departure. You are dead to us. Wait, who wrote this? No, Sarah, seriously, the show will not be the same without you. I mean, who's going to keep Andrew in line? Who will stop Ray from sous-videing literally everything in the world? Well, anyway, I hope you get to utilize that game bed more and play more and more Fallout and all the other games that you wish. Yeah, just saying it again, show's not going to be the same without you. All right.
He went through puberty instantly. He had me at plantains. He's great. So it just stood over the meat instead of eating the meat. First, we tried to shoot the meat, and we were planning on throwing our meat over the fence, and I accidentally hit my baited meat. That was my meat. That is money. Why are more people not doing that? Because I am on board with a meat raffle. I podcast from my gaming bed. So I can just sit in my bed and game. Whoa. No way.
Hi, Sarah. Jen here. It's your last day, so I wanted to take a minute to thank you for doing such a wonderful job on the feed over the seasons. Hearing another female voice talk about a game that I loved so much, but also seemed to share the same enthusiasm I had for it was really, really refreshing. I felt a little less dorky and a little less alone, and I loved listening to your stories. You were so unpretentious and so hilarious, and it made me feel like, despite my nervousness and shyness, like I wanted to join in, and look where we are now. So I look forward to doing more stuff with you in the future, and hopefully we can kill some big shit together when you finally get a copy of 76 for PS4. Thanks so much, Sarah, and I will look forward to seeing you in the wasteland and beyond.
Poop and plastic. Nipple hats. You and your dang nipple hat. I'd like to go kill big shit though, and I need a posse for that.
From all of us at the Fallout Feed, thank you, Sarah. So one of the things that kept getting mentioned is Sarah likes to kill shit, evidently. Steve.
I do.
Sarah likes to kill shit. Sarah, thank you for your services again. Amazing to have you aboard. Thanks a lot.
I think for the first time ever, I'm speechless. You guys, that meant a lot to me. Thank you.
Hey, damn it, Sarah! Now you're gonna make me cry.
Yeah, you guys just don't know what you've done for me. So I'm very thankful for this community, and I'm not leaving. Obviously, I'm still going to be playing, and I am going to kill some big shit with whoever wants to come kill big shit with me. I promise I will always be here to kill big shit with you.
Yeah, we just have to work on getting across platform.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, she's cross-platforming herself, evidently, Sarah. Didn't you just make a new purchase this weekend?
I did. I bought Fallout 76 on PS4 yesterday because it was on a
Yay.
major sale at Walmart. And I spent 90 minutes getting it uploaded or downloaded and ready to go on my PS4. So I want to join in on the concert tomorrow, but I'm going to be like a level 1. So I don't know how many hits of the Tesla I can take
Oh no.
before I die.
Make her some armor, Will. Come on.
But I will be there.
Put lots of cork in it. Is there some anti-electricity?
Well, yeah.
Oh, leather.
Well, I think-
leather. Yeah.
Yeah, leather. Although you still
I'll
need to be
figure it
at least
out.
level 5, right?
Oh, that's true, right? That's true.
So it's going to be Sarah's Technicolor gaming suit, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And I love the message from the Brotherhood of Steel. They're dead to me too.
Sarah, you can be the groupie standing beside the stage.
Oh yeah, there you go. I can be a groupie.
Yeah. I do need audience members though too. Like I have a little thing on it. So
There you go.
You should, before everyone plays their we can't place mannequins or anything yet, right? We don't have anything like that. Do we have any sort of humanoid-esque thing we can build? No, not really.
Bunnies.
I mean, you should have everyone make those
bunnies.
Have everyone make
No bunnies. It has to be bunnies.
There's some players out there who are kind of humanoid.
Make a bunch of bunnies in the audience. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Or also have everyone make one of those mascot heads or a Billy head, or if anyone can make masks like that, and then put those on the ground, put it in the foreground, but put the so it looks like all the heads are walking.
Yeah, I wish we could. We're not allowed to. Like, anything you drop is in the little.
You can't drop
brown
them.
bags.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, because I was gonna say you should place a bunch of gnomes, but
Yeah, but so actually, I have like
too.
I hadn't talked about it. I have like a kind of a bigger idea, like project of it that I know it's just gonna totally fail, but I want to get these pictures and like a video done of everyone on the stage, or as much as I can, and then as soon as I can trash the Tesla arcs, scrap those. I mean, I'm gonna like build some other things and try to do little cut scenes of like people walking through a ticket counter, and audience shots and things like that, so I can make like a full like rock video or something. So there's a whole plan which is not going to work out, I know.
That is badass. No, it will work. Put your mind to it. Yeah, you got it, dude. That's amazing.
If people didn't, shoot for the sky, we, would never get there, Will. So that's awesome. You try to do stuff like that.
And Will, I'm in sales and I have no shame, so I'll just straight up talk to whoever on our server we need to talk to. I'll round some people up.
Yeah, I went back and forth even just a long time, just trying to ask people whether I should post. Jen was just like, oh, you should recruit some people, get them involved. I'm nervous about asking for help from people, but I had this idea and I wanted to just try it. So
that's awesome.
Will, as the spazziest person you just walk up to him and you're like, hey, you!
Yeah.
You play Fallout. I play Fallout. We're playing Fallout together. You should come to my camp.
Yeah, but so that'll be exciting to have you along, Sarah.
Hey, Simon, what are you working on in game these days?
In game,
are you launching nukes yet? Have you?
Yeah, well,
process?
Clay and I did my first nuke last night, so I've officially finished.
Oh, amazing! Tell me that.
Congrats! Yeah, nice.
Tell me.
Yeah, so we did a run. I did cheat with the codes and look them up online because life's too freaking short.
Okay. Seriously though, here's a giant pool of people here. Has anyone done it the hard way?
I haven't done it at all.
I haven't done it at all.
I haven't done it yet.
Hell no, I am not doing it the hard way because there is an easy way.
That's it. I convinced myself at some stage I will do it properly just to have it done, and I know full well I never will.
See, I could lie and say that I would do it properly, but let's be realistic. Nobody's got time for that.
Mm-hmm.
It would take 4 people, I think, as a team working to do it. One person doing that would that's incredible to do that.
So I almost did it, but I think I had mentioned in my feedback. Well, me and Jen went through the whole plan was that we were going to do it the right way, and I totally just forgot about the encryption phase or decryption phase, and we got there and we cleaned out the silo and we're about to nuke, and I was like, oh my god, we didn't decrypt, and Jen was all like, I maybe knew we didn't. We forgot. You didn't forget. And she was just totally not going to tell me. But she was not going to mention because she knew I was going to want to do it the long way. And so I was like, all right, yeah, there's no way we had already cleared the silo. So we launched a nuke, but in order to know the experience and all that afterwards and included in my feedback, I went back and did all the steps just on my own.
Right.
Just to experience.
So just remind me again, because the process is baffling to me. You get all these different letters and numbers combined on each of 8 panels, and then you have to recombine those in order to form a code break, and then you use that code to line up against the normal alphabet, and then you
right, except there's a word in the silo that helps you line those words up against the alphabet. It's being figured out as the week progresses. There's slowly words or letters being figured out that you can see on the wall, and that's your keyword.
Okay,
that's your keyword cipher word or something like that you compare your letters against, and then you have to unscramble it or something, and then you put that at the beginning of the alphabet. You remove those letters and you put them at the beginning, so you have a different ordered alphabet, and that's actually what you do with the keyword. I'm sorry. And then you have to line up your code pieces that you have against that new alphabet, because each letter has an assigned number, and then you put that up top, and then you get a new word that you have to unscramble that word. And am I boring y'all yet?
Too long, didn't listen.
Yeah. Well, the way I said I was pretending I'd do them, I'm not now.
Discouraged him.
You've convinced us.
Well, and I love ciphers, and I won't do it.
Thank you so much, Will, for your demotivational speech.
I did try, but the trouble was the words weren't coming up quick enough to have it done by the time the podcast went to
There weren't enough U's in the spelling.
Right, yeah. Well, so there's 2 things going on. Is the letters populate over the week slowly. Some silos faster than the others, but so if you're going to actually figure out what word that is, you're waiting for later in the week, like you were just saying. But also, they're not common words.
They're really weird words.
Yeah, and so you're guessing at some of them. It's like, maybe this is a word.
Have they promised us that they're even English words?
I don't know.
I don't think they've made that promise.
Well, the game does take place in West Virginia. And as somebody who lives in Appalachia, I can say we have words that y'all have never heard about.
I'm sure Simon has a few choice words that he could drop that would baffle us as well.
Yeah, well, we do have some strange combinations of letters, which sound very different to how they look in these parts.
I guess it'd be worse if it was Welsh.
Oh yeah, there's just a critical shortage of vowels in Welsh.
That's down in the southern part of the map.
Although you couldn't use Welsh words because they can't use the same letter twice, and they don't have any that don't use the same letter twice. They're like 30 or 40 letters long.
I
And they have
remember
to use
being
every letter in each sentence too, right? There's that requirement.
I remember being pregnant with my son and being part of, you know, the mom boards, like online groups that you should never join because of the drama. Oh my God. And somebody was making fun of the name that somebody else that they knew had chosen for their child, and it was Owen, but it was the Celtic spelling of Owen. And they're making fun of it. They're making fun of it, and we're like, dude, no, that's like legit, and you're an asshole.
If you guys ever want some entertainment, join a mommy board.
Oh, mommy boards
That's all I'll say.
Or your neighborhood watch group on Facebook. You'll want to burn
Yes.
down your neighborhood.
What's that app called? Nextdoor?
Yeah.
Nextdoor. Yeah.
Do not join your neighborhood's next door neighborhood. You will hate everyone. Don't do it.
See, we don't really do the neighborhood watch thing because you know everybody here has a gun. And if somebody is stupid enough to break into somebody's house,
They earned it.
Yeah, I know. In my neighborhood, they were trying to get our post office removed because they said it was an eyesore. So,
you live in Louisiana, right, Will?
yes, I'm in New Orleans. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, my brother was down there last week.
Well, yeah, and I know Ray was just through here too, like around Easter, like on his trip. So yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea you were there. I wish I had known.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, anytime you guys are in the Kentucky area, just let me know. I'd be happy to meet up. We don't have a lot to do here, but we do have a waterfall and some chicken.
I just literally went through that predicament the other day when Ray was coming through. It's like, what do you take out of towners to do in Indiana? Well, if you're a sports fan, there is just everything to do. If you're a video game fan, there's, we have something that are knockoffs of like arcade and stuff like that. And there's a couple of cool arcades and stuff around town. But, it's a good walk-in sports town. It really is. If you're not into that, it's,
No, see, I've been through Indianapolis, but I've not actually been to Indianapolis. And it's been a really, really long time since I've even done that. But it would be, would be going up to Michigan. So
at the crossroads of Interstate 65 and 70, there's a lot of people who have been through Indianapolis. Very few people have actually been to Indianapolis.
Right. Well, my husband and I had that dilemma last summer. We were trying to decide where we wanted to go to for our anniversary. And I was like, well, I've been through Cincinnati, but I've never been to Cincinnati. And so we went up there and we had a lot of fun. But like, as soon as we set foot on Cincinnati soil, we seen crime happen.
Yeah. It's got the reputation of being
and
a very dangerous city for the Midwest/South/Midwest.
But like I said, it was just funny because like as soon as we got there, like we were at the park up there, and like we were walking past and we saw a window broken out on somebody's car and their purse had been stolen. And it's like,
there you go.
That was a great start to trip away.
There was a riot there within the last, I don't know, when was that? Does anybody remember? 2 decades
I have
ago?
no idea.
I have zero idea when that was.
It turns out all you really had to do is just unleash your 4-year-old on me.
Ray, are you sore? today.
Fortunately, unpacking the car and packing it repeatedly over the last 5 weeks has prepared me physically to be attacked by a 4-year-old.
He just looked like he was kicking the shit out of you, man. I apologize.
It was a blast. Well, it was just like hanging out with Rad Baby. I mean, my face hurt because I hadn't smiled that much in so long. So,
Oh, that's great.
Those Vossler girls are charismatic as shit, aren't they?
Absolutely.
No, see,
She's busy.
I've enjoyed Race Trip because I like to live vicariously through other people. Like, I have a friend who's over in France right now, and I just like eat up the pictures. It's just like, oh, that looks so much fun. But I never get to go anywhere because I work all the time. And we decided to buy a house.
Yeah, I'll do it.
So Sherry had the idea of having a ASA PodCon meetup,
Oh, yeah.
and I feel like we need to have it. I feel like it needs to happen. I'm on board.
We have one virtually every week.
Yeah.
And Lee and I have one every year at DragonCon.
That's right. Except he works the whole thing, so it's like a drive-by. I see him for 5 minutes. It's like,
Came by my ballroom. Hey, Lee, how's it going? Hey, gotta set this up. I'll catch you later.
Yep.
I'm busy. Leave me alone. See, I know Craig and I could meet up. There's totally that what is that Gen Con game fest thing that they do in Indianapolis. I've never actually been, but I know that Craig is a huge gaming fan and he goes every year, I believe. I think Jerry lives in Indiana. He's up in Elkhart way. There's a few other Hoosiers. Alex is down in Bloomington. We could do a little mini Hoosier meetup too at some point. There's little pockets.
And now that I know where it is, I know it's only 8 hours drive from my house. So,
see, when you're retired, you can think like that. It's like, oh, it's just 8 hours. Just hop in the car and we'll just. It kills me. Ray is a trooper. He loves the car ride.
I like to drive, but I mean, it's the whole it's a small world. It's a small world thing, and it's like, okay, like I'm 6 hours from you, Andrew, but at the same time, it's like that's like a half a day. Whenever you really think about it, but it's not that far.
Yep.
Well, we can meet in Cincinnati. I'm only 2.5. I'm only
We
2.5
can witness
hours.
more crime.
Yeah, you guys, let's just do it in Cincinnati. We gave such a nice pitch. Such a nice publicity pitch that the Tourism Bureau of Cincinnati is going to be contacting us.
Be renting in your car.
So Andrew, I forgot to email you or not email you, but message you to tell you that I sent you an email on the Fallout feed.
Oh, did you? Okay.
With my message to Sarah. So.
Oh, sorry, I didn't check. I should have checked that right before the show. I'd forgotten to do that.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Andrew, you're slipping. You're slipping.
Yeah. Usually I check right before.
That's okay. I thought that this was supposed to be last week. And so that's whenever I had sent it in like at midnight, And it's like, oh, that's not until next week. And I realized that the next morning and it was like, oh my God, really?
Hey, no one would have known if you didn't say it.
It's okay.
Right,
I'll
Ray,
just tell myself.
I have that here, Ray. We'll go ahead and drop that now.
Hi, Sarah. I can't express how much fun it's been podcasting with you. I'll miss your positive energy and passion for the game. I'm looking forward to when you can jump on again. Meeting you and your family was one of the highlights of our trip, and I can't wait for the next time. Now I believe there is some new big shit that needs killing.
Hi, Sarah. This is Nancy. I'm so happy to have met you and your lovely family, too. Really have enjoyed listening to the podcasts along the way on our journey across the states. Your enthusiasm for the game has tempted me to join in. Please visit us in Georgia anytime. Until then, we'll see you in the wasteland.
Awesome.
Oh, we got Nancy on the podcast. It's my dream.
Yeah.
Since I met her 2 weeks ago, it's been my dream to get her on.
You guys, Ray is punishing his wife by forcing her to listen to our crappy podcast. Why would he do that? She doesn't even play Fallout. Can you imagine how painful it must be to listen to the show if you have no idea what the game is?
She wants to now. And
That's awesome.
yeah, she and Sarah talked about it. So
Let's do it anytime. Tell her anytime. I will figure it out. I'll hop on and play with her.
Yeah, she just listens for the food cast.
Yeah, she started out listening to the Galentine episodes, and then she wouldn't let me stop. So
That's so great. No, I love the way Ray talks about his wife. It is just so sweet. I love it.
They are seriously the sweetest couple you've ever met. Like,
that's awesome.
I give you guys major kudos because you've been in the car with each other for I don't know how long. You must be really good friends, and I hope that my marriage, we can continue to have that, because right now I think if my husband and I were in the car together for that long, it might not end as well.
That's true. That's a testament to love. 5 weeks in a car with anyone, man.
Yeah. It's been a great trip.
Yeah, I've never been able to travel extremely well, and it's like 8 hours that's it. That's the maximum. And then I have to take my whole vacation to recover and then drive back,
Yeah.
Of course, that is if I don't start falling asleep and have to switch drivers.
Now, see, I grew up, my dad and my brothers my dad's retired now, but my dad's a minister, but he's also a truck driver. And so I went on trips like my whole life, and it's just incredible, the stuff that you get to see. I've always liked, car rides and all of that.
Yeah, I just can't get my head around those long car journeys. You drive for more than 4.5 hours from anywhere here, you're going to hit water. So.
But it's a necessity in Australia. If you just want to get anywhere to see anything.
It's a necessity here too, because there's so many rural areas.
Yeah. I have family in Iowa, and it blows my mind whenever I'm talking to them. It's like their shops is an hour and a half away.
Yeah, I spent about 5 hours driving across Iowa. It's a lot of the same.
Yeah. When you're mapping out your quest here, Ray, did you have a maximum that you would allow yourself to travel in a day?
Definitely tried to keep it under 9, because that's going to be 12 hours with stops. But we only had a couple of those days. Most of them, we averaged about 6. So,
yeah, that's about my max, I think. And it doesn't seem like it would, but it really takes it out of you driving in a car all day. Like, you get really, really tired and beat down. It's amazing how dragged out and beat down you feel after just an all day in the car. You get up here like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, you haven't done anything, but it really.
You think you're just sitting, but you're exhausted at the end.
Yeah, but you're not sitting relaxed. It's you're switched on and kind of tense, I suppose.
Well, the worst was when I drove across South Dakota and it was pouring rain the whole time and the wind was blowing. That day took it out of me, but for the most part, it's really not bad. And my car annoys me every 2 hours. Hey, do you need a break? We'll find somewhere for you to stop if you'd like. No, I'm good.
Awesome.
Now, see, if I've been setting too long, my Apple Watch gives me those messages, but I imagine it going, hey, fat ass. You need to put the computer down and get up and move.
Get your steps in, girl. Come on.
And my husband will be like, your watch didn't say that. And I'm like, trust me. That's what it said.
That was the first thing I disabled on my watch.
Yeah, what you hear counts, not what it said.
Exactly. Or like whenever I was working in the salon and I'd be like foiling hair and you're standing for like in the same spot for a long period of time, it would stop registering me as standing. And like, so the hour would pass and it would be like, hey, you need to stand up. Like, what do you think I've been doing? But yeah, I imagine my watch is very catty.
Maybe you can get a
on the
downloadable voice for that.
It could be on the Portal that I played, but
Did you ever play Dungeon Keeper 2?
That
was one, if you played it through the night, it would start to remind you. And say, you see that fluffy thing in the corner? It's called a bed. Go use it.
No, I've never played that one, but I was recently told that I'm not a real PC gamer, so
Yeah, I
there's
read
that. There's that.
Is that because you're female or because of what?
Because I've never played League of Legend or League of Legend or whatever.
Because you haven't played one game that
Because I haven't played one game.
That excludes you from
I'm
all
gonna
other
have
games?
I'm gonna have to tell you guys, you know, my gaming podcast that I'm not. It's all a front. I'm actually not playing these games. I've been lying to you this whole time.
Cool.
I'm not a real gamer.
You're really good at lying.
I know. And I mean, like Clint and Lee and Ray, they've all played with me.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at, faking it. So
that really just
Apparently, I'm not a real gamer either.
Can't be into that one.
League of Legends.
Well, even my husband was like, I've never played that game either, but you need to Google the CEO of that company.
Oh yeah, you found some dirt on.
Yeah,
he's small company too, right?
Yeah, he's like apparently likes to ball flick people. And is being sued. So there's that.
He likes to sack other dudes in the office.
Yeah, in the office.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's being sued for that. That's totally appropriate.
Been punched for that.
Yeah, so much for that sequel.
But yeah, so my husband is also not a real gamer either, because like I said, he's never played League of Legends. Now he's won gaming tournaments, but so there's that.
But they were all the wrong ones.
Ray has recently convinced his spouse to try Fallout, it seems. How are you going to get your husband to try it? How do we get...
I have been trying.
My wife, who refuses to play a three-dimensional... Like, in a game where you can swivel the camera back and all around a character, she gets too dizzy and she can't handle. She likes side-scrolling platform Lego games, that sort of thing, where you can't swing the camera and stuff. How do we convince these people to play Fallout, those who are lost?
He spun it on me. He has spun it on me. He's like, you could play Final Fantasy 14 with me.
Just
and I'm like, I
Fallout
could.
Shelter.
So I actually, since I got my new phone, I have Fallout Shelter on my phone, and I've been playing that a little bit.
You can play it on the PC too.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell them they're not a real gamer if they haven't played.
Hey,
Charlene, not a real gamer, they won't care.
Charlene and Clint are out on the road, much like Ray and his wife are out on the road. First of all, do you have minimum travel distances? Because I understand that your cities are also quite far apart from each other in Australia. And are there regional food like things? Is the cuisine similar across Australia, or when you go places, do you know that you're going to get a special type of food?
Well, we're all in the one state on this trip. In Queensland, we've just headed north because we normally live in the very south of the state. Up here, it's more tropical, so some of the fruits and veggies are a little bit different, but the cuisine's pretty much the same, I think.
Yeah, the abundance of seafood is better.
Further inland?
inland who start to
we're
get
north,
more the
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you're on the east
We're
coast.
travelling the coast road, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We're making use of the government-provided electric highway when we can.
What does that mean?
Well, we have a new electric car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the Queensland state government has already installed the infrastructure to provide people free fueling points, if you like.
Charging. Oh, that's awesome.
Charging point, yeah.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they would charge the shit out of that in the United States.
It'll probably come. It'll probably come, but I mean, we can still get free air for our tires.
See,
That was something novel in California.
All right.
We need to use up all those resources.
Yeah, I see what they're doing. They're just trying to coax people into it first, and then once they got the hook sunk deep into your cheek, then they'll start.
Person free.
Yeah, but using those them there electric cars, that's not American. We need the fuel. We need the big trucks, and we need the fuel.
Yeah.
No, we need those electric cars.
Don't worry, we're having the same trouble here.
That's why Tesla's working on an electric pickup truck.
That would be helpful, Lee. That actually would.
There is a pickup truck.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, there's another brand other than Tesla. There's a pickup truck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's, I can't think of the name, but I thought it was an American build.
Very well could be. I'm not a car guy. I don't know.
That's probably why it's not available here.
It's an American vehicle, and we're not allowed access to it because it's good for us. So we're not gonna do it.
Yeah, we see a lot of the issues with using resources. Coal mining is really big where I live at, and whenever I was out at my dad's house, whenever I took the pictures of his woodshed, I had wanted to get a picture of where they're mining at. They're strip mining out where I grew up at, and just the damage it does to the mountains, it's awful. And it's terrible. And again, they're going to kick me out of Kentucky if I keep talking like this.
Well, you see it in the game, and
it might be a comment.
Like Mount Blair. Has anybody done the Mount Blair workshop? Oh my gosh, it's an ordeal to get that thing powered up.
It's good fun though.
But it pulls a lot of ore out of the ground.
But yeah, the mine out where I grew up at, a guy that I went to high school with was actually killed in it a year ago. So it's very, very dangerous work. It's awful for the water and everything out there, and nobody cares.
Yep, we're having similar sort of arguments here at the moment too, with a rather large coal mine. And then with the work that I'm associated with, I saw that a study done in Appalachia about coal workers' pneumoconiosis.
Yeah.
So, and that's popped its head up here in Australia too.
And there's big coal culture here, people who are big mining families, and you can't talk against it because they will rip you apart.
Yep.
So, and, truck driving family, didn't grow up in the same, but my best friend growing up, her dad was a coal miner. And he started off mining. He worked up in the mine to where he was working on the vehicles and everything that they used. He had a heart attack and has a pacemaker and can't get disability because they said, oh, he can do another job in the mine, but he can't work on the electrical parts of it because he has a pacemaker. So,
yeah, right.
So it's pretty awful.
What's Australia burn? What's Australia burn to get most of their electricity these days?
Coal.
What's the chief export?
Yeah, it's one of our major exports. Trying to think what else.
We just went, we stayed at Gladstone, and there was 14 ships waiting offshore.
Yeah, and that was one of the smaller harbours.
And then further up at Mackay, there's probably 40 ships waiting offshore to get filled up with coal. So that's where it's all going, mostly to Asia.
I was going to say China, Asia markets, I would assume.
Mostly goes up there, yeah. Although China's been taking a second look at how much coal they use, and it looks like they won't be buying as much from us as they were, so that's something. Because they're going big on electricity. They had so much trouble over there with, the climate did get bad there, as you saw in the Olympics, and they're doing something about it.
Everyone wearing toxic masks walking around was bad publicity for their environmental campaign.
Yeah. So they make more electric cars there than anywhere else in the world now.
Good for them. Maybe everyone needs to host the Olympics to learn their lessons.
Still got to make the electricity somehow.
Oh, sunshine. We've got so much sunshine in Australia, it's ridiculous, and we're burning coal.
Yeah, pretty soon you're going to be able to export it.
Yeah, but we have a president that I'll just leave that there because some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth whenever it comes to alternate resources like wind farms and everything is pretty laughable.
He's all about big oil.
I don't know, Ray, did you see any on your way around? Indiana now has just like tons of wind fields. There's lots of gigantic white turbines out in the country.
Iowa was big. Of course, California is covered in solar. There's quite a bit of it out there.
My town just built a solar field right across their other big chunk of unused government property that they had. They had like a couple of acres over there, and they just filled it up with solar panels. I was like, way to go, guys! That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, we're finding a lot of local councils and communities are building their own, solar or wind-powered plants, and just despite what the government policy is.
How about nuclear power? Does Australia allow nuclear power?
No, not allowed.
Nice.
We sell it, but we sell the uranium, but no, we won't have nuclear.
You mine it, okay. Anybody watched Chernobyl real quick?
I still haven't watched it yet. I'm excited to. I'm excited to.
It's on HBO and probably Sky, and to the people in the UK and Europe and stuff.
So did 3 episodes now of it?
I haven't seen the 3rd episode. Someone just informed me today that the 3rd episode is already up. I thought it would be on Monday that it came out, but I guess it maybe was last Monday. I don't know. Yeah, I need to go watch episode 3. I've only seen the first 2, but I really love it so far.
Hey, I have done good to stay up on Game of Thrones this season because this has been the end of the school year for the kids. Toby graduated preschool, and
what's he gonna do with his future? Where's he going to college?
Has he chosen a career?
You would think that he had graduated college and he was moving away from home and never coming back. Okay, so there are certain songs that they should not be allowed to perform at a preschool graduation, and you got a friend in me from Toy Story 4 is one of them, because that song breaks you emotionally anyway. But a bunch of little kids singing that song and doing like the little motions and everything, yeah.
Too cute.
They probably made a killing on tissues.
Andrew, have you experienced the preschool graduation yet?
No. Moses' cystic fibrosis keeps him away from people, and I am not sad about that at all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was curious how that,
He'll start kindergarten next year, so it'll be a similar experience, I'm sure.
Yes. The little kid graduations, it destroys your fills completely. And this is actually the 2nd time he's graduated preschool, because he started preschool whenever he was 3 because of his speech. But yeah. Same thing, went through the same thing last year, and then whenever they get their little diplomas, they ask them what they want to be when they grow up. And last year Toby said that he wanted to be an army man. And this year we thought for sure it was going to be Wolverine. He was going to be an X-Men.
That was that's why I thought you were going to say the first dog. Yeah.
So
he gets up there. They ask him what he wants to be when he grows up, and he said he wanted to work with his dad. And then Bishop had the allergies because we already had you had a friend in me, and then that he had went on Good Friday. Bishop had to work half a day, so he went to work with him, and ever since then he said that he wants to work with his dad. And so yeah. Now there was a missed opportunity with one of the kids there. His last name was Strange, and he should have said he wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah.
You don't
But
get
he
to
wants
pick
to
your
be a
last
police
name.
officer.
Did they dress him up in the mortarboard and cape?
Yeah. We have
I've-
kindergarten graduation next week, and I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, I am, but I know I'm going to be a
Okay.
mess.
Take the waterproof mascara and the tissues and trust me.
Thankfully, I don't think they do that in schools here.
August, my daughter graduated 8th grade on Thursday. Did not tell anybody about it. And she brings home her diploma from school, and so she's grounded.
So Simon, did you say that they don't do kindergarten graduations over there?
No, not so much. Lucy's finishing
Really?
preschool in a couple of weeks, and as far as I know, they're not doing anything particularly.
Sad.
I'm sure there'll be some little party or something. That's about it. She did have her first school sports day today, which was kind of fun.
That is super fun. What did they do for sports day?
Oh, it was. They had a pushchair race, and they had just a running race, and they had the potato and spoon race because it's Ireland. Egg and spoon is just so everywhere else, you know.
I was gonna say, what is Irish
That's
sport?
awesome.
There you
I
go.
imagine them like playing field hockey or something.
No,
What
for
are the
4-year-olds, it's just running around having fun.
What are the Irish sports?
Irish
Caber
sports.
toss.
Well, in this neck of the woods, it's rugby.
Rugby.
Right.
Well, that's
Belfast particularly is big on rugby, which suits me because I'm big on rugby.
Simon
Yeah,
has
you got soccer's a big one,
congratulations,
and
man.
Gaelic games.
I know Laura from Vault 97 from the I just blanked on the name. Vault 97. I know that she gets really excited when the Rugby World Cup or there's something about the fives, the Great Five or something she calls it or whatever. She always gets super excited, and then she like tries to teach me about rugby every year.
Sevens probably. Yeah.
Sevens, is that what it is?
Sevens.
I learn like 1 or 2 more facts that actually sink in every year about rugby, but it always looks fun. I always try to watch a little bit of it.
When you
See,
get
I'm
the sevens,
not-
we'll take it to 15s.
I'm not a sports person at all. Like growing up, whenever my brothers were still at home, we all watched, college football and professional football, and we all had our teams. And during the playoffs, it was hell at my house because we would be fighting with each other. And whenever you're not in that situation, it's not as much fun. But yeah, I was a big Notre Dame fan.
Oh wow, really? That's up
we
here.
moved here. Yeah, we moved here from Michigan.
Well,
so
that's even worse. The Notre Dame and the Wolverines have like one of the most hated rivalries in all of collegiate.
I know. My brother Aaron's a Wolverine fan.
Oh man, that is bad blood.
Oh yeah,
Wolverines.
Me and my brother Daniel, we were hardcore Notre Dame. But yeah, my brother Aaron was a Wolverine fan. He's also a big Detroit Lions fan. He whenever he wears his jacket, he has to wear the bag over his head.
Oh no.
But no, I haven't watched sports in years. I make the joke that the last time I cared about a sporting event, the red Viper door got his brain smashed in.
Oh, well, there you go. That's trial by combat or something.
Trial by combat, yeah.
The other big sports that Laura likes is hockey. She's a fan of the San Jose Sharks.
I was gonna say when the Sharks were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I was like that. That's awesome.
It's the field or the ice variety.
Ice.
Yeah.
I know it's weird for the Bay Area to have a hockey team.
They play field hockey.
They introduced ice hockey up here quite a few years ago. It seems to have taken off a bit
Heck,
because
we even have
it's a non-sectarian sport, so nobody from either side used to do it. So they could, the Belfast Giants, I think, win quite a bit in the UK leagues and stuff. So obviously something's working.
Simon, go ahead, Lee.
We even have ice hockey here in Middle Georgia.
I forget what your team. I forget.
Well,
L
one of
team.
them, they've had different teams over the years. One of them was called the Macon Whoopee.
That's hilarious. that's funny. That's funny.
Darwin has an ice hockey team.
In Australia, really?
Yep, they're undefeated.
Do they play anybody?
Are there other teams?
Yeah, they invite teams from all over the world to play, and they all put on their gear and walk out to the water and put the puck down. Oh, no ice. They go and get on the road.
So I imagine Australia having an ice hockey team the same way that Jamaica has a bobsled team.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I'm going to use this opportunity
Any
to
excuse.
say goodbye. I got to head out, y'all.
Great, Sarah. Thank you so much for your
Sarah.
service
Yeah.
over the
Bye,
last
Sarah.
couple of seasons. It's great been having you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. I
Hope
just
to see
want
you
to say
tomorrow.
I want to say one more thing to Ray and Andrew. I just love and appreciate you two more than you'll ever know. And it's weird to say that I have such close friends that I just recently met in person or I've never met in person. And so thank you for just being a big part of the last couple of years. I love you guys, and I will see you all in the wasteland soon.
Damn it, Sarah, you're
Bye.
gonna make me cry again.
We're always here for you.
Yeah, we'll see you,
Bye,
Sarah.
guys.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye,
Take-
Sarah.
Take
Good
care.
night, Sarah. Good night.
Simon, before we shift total gears away from athletics, you're a bit of an athlete yourself, at least in the running sense. You recently ran a marathon?
I did, yeah. Belfast Marathon 3
Excellent.
weeks ago.
And you were doing some sort of for a charity event as well, right?
Yeah, well, it was fundraising for the Scouts. I'm involved at Belfast County for the Scouts. So we have a whole pile of Scouts going to Appalachia in a few weeks' time for the World Jamboree, and a whole pile more going to Poland for the European Jamboree next year. So basically, just kind of fundraise for those guys and send them off because otherwise it's the ones whose families have money get to go on all the fun trips and everybody else gets to miss out. So if we can reduce the cost for everybody, it makes it more accessible to everyone.
Good.
That's awesome.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that. That's incredible.
Yeah, well, it's something I've been doing for a long time now, so I enjoy it. Which is why I'm really stoked about the Pioneer Scouts being added into Fallout.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about your badges.
Well, real world badges or virtual badges?
I meant in game, but tell us about
I haven't actually done much. I started the tadpole stuff, and then I said, okay, I need to get this nuke launched. So that's been my week. And so that's next on my list is the alcohol and the Pioneer Scouts.
Did you tell us where you nuked? I think you told us that you nuked, but you didn't really.
Yeah, no, I hit Site Prime because there was another group had done White Springs shortly beforehand. So fortunately, we didn't manage to get the Scorch Beast Queen, but got an awful lot of everything else, which was good fun.
Yeah, I think that's technically where the game wants you to nuke. Anyway,
Yeah,
like
it's probably the canon one, but I did burn through pretty much every bit of ammo I was carrying, so I'll be
that's crazy
collecting ammo for a while.
Yeah, it's resource intensive for sure.
I don't know. I'd kind of like to nuke Grafton, listen to the mayor.
Shut him up.
Well, I got a lot of people here for the panel. What is your out of the way, your non-White Spring, your non-Alpha Site Prime nuke zone? Where are your weird spots to nuke? Or have you seen other people nuke?
We did it up north. We didn't do it, but somebody dropped one up that way one time, up around Grafton, and Hemlock Holes and all that sort of area, Clarksburg. It was great. And there's a surprising amount of of flora at the time we were looking for.
Didn't somebody nuke Helvetia or however that's
I think
pronounced?
so. Helvetia.
That's not there, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
while
somebody did.
the quests were going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fastnacht. But
The Fastnacht, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that happened a couple of times while I was on.
yeah, I pretty much never nuke anywhere but White Springs or the Fissure Site Prime. But I've had a decent time with people nuking up there by the Pumpkin House. Like there's some
Oh, yeah.
stuff and scorch piece and stuff around
There's
there.
a fissure there. Okay, I know there are a few pumpkin patches. What kind of flux do those turn into, and what other flux am I missing?
I forgot. Maybe the pumpkins. I don't even remember at all. You know.
They turn into jack-o'-lanterns.
Get up and they start kicking your ass.
Say crimson. Maybe it's a cobalt.
Nuka-lantern.
They are pumpkin spice latte flexes, and all the basic white girls come to the yard.
You can only do them in between September and late February, and they come with just a touch of ginger.
See, I wish that pumpkin stuff could happen all year round. I love my pumpkins.
I saw Charleston get nuked before. I thought it was kind of lackluster though when I went there.
Yeah.
Harper's Ferry is good. I haven't done it since they opened up the boroughs, but it's just good with the super mutants.
I was just thinking Harper's Ferry because I've just built a camp there. I was like, oh, people nuke that place.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the nuke zone? You said super mutants, so are you getting like hardened mass and high radiation fluids off the super mutants, or what are you doing?
Yeah, no, you definitely get the components off of them. There's lots of ferns, so lots of violet flux, and they're just there's plenty of 3 stars in there. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to, getting back and getting into one where you've got both the super mutants up on top and then go down into the burrows and do the ghouls down there.
Yeah. Plus, it's fun to take your power armor off and do that while you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been able to do that. So,
speaking of no power armor in the blast zone, at least 3 times recently in the last couple of weeks, I've been to White Spring. And it must have been after a nuke zone, but the radiation had cleared away, but the flora had still been nuked.
Yeah, it's still there. Sometimes you still get a lot of charred feral ghouls and stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Or
There's
I mean,
some
not charred feral
glowing
ghouls,
ones
bloated glowing ones. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, there's some glowing ones. Not all of them, but some of them are glowing ones.
It's definitely still around for a while.
Yeah.
And
So
people are adept enough to shift the nuke zone down in the cranberry bog to where it's not hitting the delta site. You can stand at the bunker there and be out of the radiation and still fight the queen.
Yeah. Sometimes they put it too far down though, where all you get is a queen, and there's still like, not as much flux or other scorched running about that you can get the high radiation fluids and all that stuff from.
Right.
But then the West Virginia sign glows for hours.
what are your nuke lessons, everybody, that you have learned over playing the last few weeks?
Don't do it.
My first and foremost one is make sure that you, just outside of the circle, leave yourself a fast travel point to get to easily, because so many times I include basically every fast travel area around, and then you got to fast travel and then run a super fucking long distance every time. So
Drop site V9, fast travel.
Yeah, make sure the circle is just inside of a place where you can fast travel easily.
Don't fast travel to the place that's nuked as soon as the nuke is launched.
Give it a couple minutes, unless you need to go for the Xbox only achievement. There is an achievement for being in the middle of a nuke zone as the bomb drop.
Yeah, I had some death happen to me whenever I didn't think about that, and which I die a lot in game. I'm happy that this game, my husband and I was talking about it. I recently re-downloaded Final Fantasy XI, which was the first game that we played together. And once you hit a certain level, like you lose XP every time you die. So you could de-level. And so it's a good thing that, and if you die, you could de-level like 2 or 3 levels, and whenever you're high level, it, takes a long time to get back up there. And so, yeah, I'm glad that that's not a thing in this game with as much as I die. But
yeah, and that is an appealing feature of this game.
yeah, you lose your junk, but there's really no consequences if you die.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, unfortunately, where my camp is on the side of the hill, they can't hit White Springs and my camp at the same time. So
that's good.
I know I can always
Just out of reach,
jump
that's
off
good.
the side of the cliff and get down there, even if they hit the train station. The train station is a one cap fast travel for me.
So that's great for me. Yeah. And to what you were saying, Andrew, with the fast travel outside the radiation zone, though, still be ready to get into your power armor if you're not fast traveling there in your power armor, because it won't always. Sometimes it will put you inside the blast zone.
Yeah,
that's
right.
And a helpful tip for all the cannibals out there: put on your hazmat suit before you get in your power armor, so that you can hop out and eat stuff.
That is clever.
Or if you happen to be in a... Sorry.
I just had a brief flirtation with cannibalism, so it's not really an issue for me anymore. I gave up the habit.
I can't do it. It was horrifying to me the one time I tried it. Like, for the experiment, I was like, "Oh my god, that was terrible! What are you letting me do?"
It's such a gross animation.
Oh gosh, and the sound. The
sound is terrible.
It is spectacularly gory.
Yeah.
One of the times I was running around with the group from the podcast here, I ate some ghoul, and Phil was like, "Oh, hey, see you going to town there on that guy," and I was like, "Oh shit, you saw that?"
And then they hear you burp too.
It's the burp that did it for me. Can you eat dead players?
Yeah, it's fun running around with Ray, because like he'll be off, and then you'll just hear like him eating somebody. It's like, already, Ray? Really?
I think you can eat other
you
players.
can, yeah, that's what I've heard, is that you can eat other players. So
is that going to be like the Fallout 76 version of teabagging? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, don't forget to take a picture of your kills afterwards too.
Is that one of the photographer requirements for the badge? Kill people, take a picture of it. It's the serial killer badge, everybody. The serial killer badge.
Don't mind me, just taking a little memento here.
Yeah, they're trying to get some of those little kids killed with those tadpole badges, like running across that new River Gorge Bridge and stuff along the little boards and everything.
I found the tadpole badge way harder than the possum badge, Will.
Oh, did you? I haven't even started on the possum badges because the way I want to do it is I'm trying to get every single tadpole badge first.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Man.
I hate possums, y'all.
Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit, Sarah. I
Yeah.
get those in my backyard all the time.
Well, yeah, I was going to tell you all my possum story. So I grew up out in the country, and I mean out in the country. The picture that I posted of my dad's woodshed, that's where I used to live at. That's how far out in the country I live. So whenever my husband and I first got married, we were living in a house on my parents' property. And we had possums get in our house, baby possums.
Ew.
I've had that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was getting ready to take my ACT to go to college.
Oh,
and this is that night, and I kept hearing what I thought was a mouse. And if you knock on a wall with a mouse, it'll get scared or run away. This asshole kept coming back. And so I was pissed. I was trying to go to sleep. I had a test the next morning. I flip on the light and I see a face.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, okay. And so Bishop was playing a video game in the other room. And so I got out of bed. It ran whenever it seen me. I got out of bed. And I went and got him. I said, okay, so either there is a really huge rat in our bedroom or there's a baby possum. It was a baby possum. We got it out. We didn't kill it or anything like that. We got it out. We took it up the road and let it out. The next night, there was another asshole in our house. This went on for 3 nights. 3 nights, 3 possums.
Jeez.
And that's what living in the country is like. And my husband, he grew up in the city. There were sidewalks where he lived at. People mowed your yard. He could not handle this, y'all.
Yeah.
We live in the city and have possums all the time.
That's
His
what I live in the
reaction.
city and get a bunch of them too. Yeah.
That's not fair. That's not fair. You can't. No, Clint, your possums are almost like as cute as like baby spider monkeys or something.
They are cute.
Our possums are fucking nightmarish freak shows compared to your possums.
They are scary. They got like some amazing teeth that they're just.
So PETA is really gonna hate this, but Bishop went on a killing spree. Every time he would see one on the road, he would run it down.
Oh no.
I was gonna say good for you guys for keeping it alive because they are nightmare freak shows and they are horrible looking.
Now he didn't kill very many of them, but he would run them off the road.
But they are like they're
garbage animals.
But they're nature's vacuum cleaner basically. In Indiana, like they're the only thing that can eat ticks and not get Lyme's disease. It's like they're so awesome.
Yeah, they're real good. Yeah,
they're really good for your environment.
I actually know someone that has some as pets. Like they had kept them as babies, and she's fine with them. They're like super cute for her.
But, have you had them in your house?
I have had them in my house. That's what I said. And I've had to take it. Like, of course it comes in and my dogs attack or whatever.
Right.
It acts dead, but the dogs know. And so like I pick it up by the tail. I don't know how to grab it. I'm freaking out. I have these big giant gloves on, and I'm just kind of running down the street towards the canal, and it's like hanging by its tail, and then all of a sudden it starts like coming back to life and like squirming around, and I'm like panicking and all that. But
we captured it. I have a Gone with the Wind Afghan. I'm a big Gone with the Wind fan. And it came in a tin, and so we captured them in the Afghan tin and took them out. But like I said, my husband, he does not handle well, and so his reaction is like, oh fuck, we gotta burn the house down. Action is let me get my boots,
burn it down, walk away, burn the house, let's go. Clint, do your possums play possum too?
I don't think so, do they?
Do they play dead like when people as one of their defense mechanisms?
No, I haven't seen it. They will fight if they're cornered.
Yeah, they haven't found anything yet that they were scared of.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've had them stand up to you, and if you trying to put the garbage in a bin where they can't get it, they'll stand up and fight you. I want that.
They're like our raccoons. They don't want to mess with you, but if you shut that trash can lid, they'll get pissed off at you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but generally they're fairly good and fairly tame, and you can often hand feed them. That's not a problem. But as long as you're feeding them, they're happy.
Yeah, one of my dogs lost a bunch of its front teeth in a fight with a possum.
Oh wow! We've also had black snakes get into our house, not here, but the house that the possums got into, and it was hilarious. My nephew and one of his friends came down to help me wrangle the black snake that was in, and so they're in my bedroom where the snake was at, and they're like, "What color is it?" And I'm like, "It's a black snake."
and like there's belts laying on the floor that are black t-shirts, and one of the belts wrapped around my nephew's friend's ankle, and he screamed like a girl. But at first he was like, Sarah, everything in here is black, because this was during whenever I was going through that phase of my life where everything was black, and
the black
Sarah was a punk kid. I listened to the emo music.
Yeah.
I still listen to the emo music.
I still listen to the punk music. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Simon's already made fun of my taste in music, so
it's all right. I make fun of everybody's taste in music equally.
Before we close off the show this evening, I asked you to think about any poignant moments in the story or anything that you remember from being told via holotape, notes, letters, anything like that. And any surprises that you had with your character, any cards you didn't use, anything about the role that you kind of ignored. I definitely ignored the sturdy frame card a lot. I think it was one that made my armor weigh half as much, but I was already primarily using the weightless armor anyway, which was 90% reduced. So 90% reduced and then reduce it by another half, it didn't really matter. So I kind of ignored that card. Most of this playthrough, I just ignored that. So Steve, did you have any moments in the story that were like memorable to you? It's like without NPCs, it's kind of hard to tell a story. Do you think that there were any successful moments for you?
Yeah, you know what? One of the stories I thought was the most impactful was the Mistress of Mystery quest line that wasn't in the main story, but I just remember as you go through and you read all the terminals and the notes and the holotapes and stuff, that one really has a great story behind it. And yeah, so it was that was probably one of the times that I felt it was interesting. Of course, my character's like an older dude, so didn't really fit for him to like take on the ethos of the Mistress of Mystery or anything.
If he wants to be a Mistress of Mystery, he can.
That's actually why my main character that I use all the time now is a female, because my original beta character was an older guy, like you had said, and I started doing the Mistress of Mysteries, which, by the way, is also my absolute favorite quest of the entire game. But it was that, I was getting in the Mistress of Mysteries quest and the dress, and I wanted to follow the storyline and be like that, and I was like, well, let me just make a female character just and play like that for that, and then I did the whole quest and I just kept it, and now that's kind of how that that character is just morphed into just something that I can't get rid of. But
can't just change the characters, which is handy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a lot of the names, if not everyone, had a name that would be typically the opposite genders.
Oh right. Yeah.
Did anybody have an appropriately named character?
Non-specific, I think.
Gardner. Okay, yeah, that's kind of
Morris.
General. Morris.
Yeah, and Cobb was pretty straight up male.
Yeah, I just noticed there was a lot of people who it mixed up there.
Yeah.
My character for the last round table was also a male character name. For a female character, it was Josiah, and then I had Bradley, which could be a last name, which is how I used it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it was pointed out to me with my round table character that who was Hazel. Originally, I had never heard of really, or couldn't remember anyone female or male named Hazel, but it had been pointed out to me since then. There are several significant people in history that are male named Hazel.
I used to have a good friend named Hazel.
Yeah.
He was in the Navy in World War II.
Did you insist on being called Hayes?
No. No.
Yeah, my Hazel definitely was not liking Hazel. He wanted Hayes.
He was having an identity crisis. It's okay.
He was.
We've all been there.
kind of like Mr. Marie, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. Will, do you
I
have any
loved
poignant-
that.
Will, do you have any poignant story moments?
As far as the
Follow
main
criminal?
quest goes, I think the ones that kind of stood out to me the most were the ones with Senator Sam Blackwell and his daughter, and that whole thing, just where he was kind of slowly losing his memory, of dementia or whatever, and they're trying to keep them safe, and how the whole little, the side story is not really obvious, but he went into that bunker because actually he got scared. He knew the stuff that was going on with the Enclave, and he received a threat that was actually from Hornwright, that other mining company in there, and they were just trying to threaten him to shut him up because he was proposing these propositions to slow down the introduction of automation into the mining. But since he knew what was going on with the Enclave, that scared him, thinking the Enclave was threatening him, and so that's why he went into hiding.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, that prolonged his life. He died, but the Enclave had put out a hit on him, but he didn't know that. But just that, and then the story with his daughter, as she didn't know why they were hiding out and all that, and then she kind of realized that, wow, Dad was right all this time, even though he was kind of losing his mind.
Yeah, that one definitely was the best one for me. It was the whole everything involving Sam Blackwell, all the corruption that he was uncovering and trying to expose.
Any cards
Abby
you did?
got to me a
Will?
bit too because of all the work she did, knowing she was going to die there.
Who is that?
Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah, her story was pretty
Mm.
heartbreaking.
Go Free States.
Did it all anyway. Yep.
Yeah, I found the Overseer story to be pretty impactful.
Yeah, it was very sad. That was one that I used a lot in my playthrough. I also, it's not a main story, but I like the water slide part, the Miss Nanny there.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate Mirelurks, we know how I feel about Mirelurks. And I still went up there and I did that.
Mm-hmm.
But her story was really sad because, she's waited there that whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple that stood out for me, all really earlier on, because the Fallout games have all been so good at the environmental storytelling and all the little things that really bring you home. And there was such criticism of the lack of NPCs and lack of stories, but it was in Flatwoods when you find the notes from the kids and you find Colonel.
Yeah.
And
Colonel,
you find his holotape
Yeah.
of the kid, and then you find his body, and he's been protecting the kids, and that really, that whole little bit just tied it in.
Yeah, most people don't find Colonel, the adult body of Colonel, in that holotape.
Yeah.
They just find the one whenever he was a child. I came across that one by accident, and I showed it to Phil, and it's so sad.
It is. And there was one of the trailers in Flatwood as well. There's a little memorial in a crib.
Yeah.
Obviously somebody has lost their kid, and that nearly broke me. I filmed it first. It was, that really hit home.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
those survivor stories are really good. I wish there were more of those. I was looking around.
Those were great.
They put a lot of work into that.
Yeah. But that's what really cemented the game. There was, especially like in the early weeks, there were so many things that didn't work and didn't click and everything else. But you could see this brilliant nugget of the storytelling that is so intrinsic to Fallout is there, and the rest can follow. Whereas if that wasn't there to begin with, they can't put that in.
No, one of the first with the desecrated, not the desecrated corpses, but the ash people. You know what I'm talking about? Yes.
Yeah.
In Morgantown, I posted a screenshot of it, when we were still doing the beta. But there's one that it looks like it was holding a baby, heading towards a crib, and it was just like, oh my god, because at that time you don't know what those, what they were, and
just absolutely heartbreaking. But like the memorials that you find, and I found 2 skeletons holding hands, and just Bethesda's great at that.
Yeah, they've always been good at that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They seem to have stepped up their gnome storytelling game. In this.
Oh, that was incredible. Yes.
Yeah, I fully believe that the gnomes and the teddy bears are working against each other, and they actually control the Scorch Beast.
One. We are one.
Simon, any ridiculous cards that you didn't use?
I don't know about ridiculous. I probably didn't use the Pain Train card I got assigned.
That's a power armor one, right?
Power one, yeah. You know, I'm not terribly. I don't tend to use my power armor unless I need to, and I don't tend to use kind of melee or unarmed combat again unless I particularly need to. So I'm never really getting up to somebody to use the Pain Train. That's about it. I gave most of them a run. A few of them were handy. A few of them I still have. Yeah, things like Pack and Light, Tank Killer, and Rat Resistant. They're just handy to have.
How about your specials? Have you respected any of your specials?
Well, I'm still only level 49, so I'm not changing anything yet.
Well, there you go. Yeah, great.
I hit level 49 last night, so I don't know,
fair
half
enough.
level to go, and I'm officially
You got
graduated.
it?
Do what I
Yeah.
like.
Very nice.
The next quandary is what do I do? Because I quite like Coilen where he's gone. So I was like, ooh, what do next?
That's the sad part. Like, we all have to come to terms. What do we do? A lot of us have main characters, and we just sort of play the side characters for the quests. But like for a few of us, I think the roundtable characters have become the main. Like definitely my character is way higher than what my main character was. So now it has in turn become my main character. So now, how do we move on? Do we create characters and kiss them goodbye? Like generally, that's kind of what I do with roundtable characters. I don't really go back to old characters very often. Ray creates 1 billion characters. Do you ever go back and play old characters, Ray?
From time to time. It just depends on, because everyone is so specific to, a particular skill set and, what they're doing in the game and everything. So I'll occasionally go back to them, but for the most part, no, I'll play them to the point that I had intended to play them, to do what specific thing I wanted to do, and then I'm done with them.
Yeah, we all learned how to map out levels from Ray.
Yeah.
Men with the plan.
Yeah, but I still find myself going back to chaos. It's just who I am.
This next round table, I'm definitely going to pre-plan out what level I'm going to take what, because that was a mess.
I'm going to
I prefer the term
look at my
organic.
cards and see at what. Yeah, I'm gonna look at my cards and see what level it's possible that they'll start showing up.
Well,
and
that roadmap thing on the Nukes and Dragons site works pretty good for that.
Yeah,
It
even
lets you know the fastest way possible to achieve all your perks and the most efficient method of it.
I am in the process of making a main character, and Steven turned me on to that site, and I've got it ready. I just haven't had time to play.
Plus, it's a good one just to like browse through all the cards and just see and know what they all do. Yeah. So I was gonna I'm sure I'll run out of character slots eventually, but I was gonna use it just as like with this round table character that just finished. I'm gonna respec him. I'm thinking maybe towards a shotgun build. I'm not totally sure yet. I want to see what role I get in the next season. But I'm going to use each of those characters to like specifically put those, kind of the way Ray was saying, towards a different type of build, so that if I want to just try that out for the night or whatever I can. Whereas my main character that I always use is kind of just general, just mayhem in any form.
Yeah, it was interesting with my character that, you know, the name she drew was Loner. And so my initial thought was, yeah, well, that's what she's going to be. And what do? I come out of the vault. And the first thing I run into is somebody who wants to help me. So it's like, so I kind of built on that irony throughout my feedback.
Yeah.
That, you know, you end up forming this community, you know, and
Yeah.
glad we were all there.
Loner's
Yeah,
interesting. It's Walter you got to watch out for.
I was playing him today.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Walter, he blows shit up, and you might be standing right beside of it or on top of it, and he don't care.
Targets of opportunity.
But you're right. That was something I was like. My plan all along was I just figured I was going to kind of go through the entire season by myself. You know, like many of us were traditionally solo Fallout players, so I was just going to go through the whole season all alone. And you know, but slowly it started out. You know, in the beginning, like I started teaming up with Mark every now and then you know, like you know, Jesse, and like by the end, you know, it's like every quest I was doing with Jen, and all of a sudden, you know, so I made all these like friends during the season, and that just kind of progressed the story in its own way. Just all of a sudden playing with, you know, all these other people is quite awesome, really.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it was who first postulated the idea that the whole thing was a social experiment by Bethesda. I think it was one of the Sarahs.
Bethesda has in turn turned into Vault Tech.
Always
Bethesda Tech.
It's not wrong. I can't remember. I think it was me or Sarah one. I don't remember.
Yeah. Brilliant.
They lied to us and told us it was a control vault. Right?
Yeah, that would mean, of course, then all the bugs and problems are entirely deliberate.
Of course.
Well, there's that.
Can't leave things to chance.
Features. They're called features. Stop.
They're not. I mean, people talk about the Bethesda glitches like they're a bad thing. They're quite charming, actually.
Yeah, long man.
Yeah, they're charming until you see a 2-shot Gatling gun vanish from the front of your eyes before you can pick it up. That was my experience the other night.
Oh, that's terrible. I caught that glitch for the second time where my character caught on fire. You know,
that one is great. It's only happened to me once. I love that one, Will. That's so cool.
It's so good. Yeah.
I think I've had that one before.
It's all just bits and pixels. Don't get attached.
But it makes for really cool photo ops.
It really does. It does get hard. If you're in combat, you can't see anything through all the flames sometimes, you know, but it is. Yeah. It's still awesome.
I find that, Will, you say that with the flames, but also I have all the weightless armor. The effect of going invisible and coming out of invisibility, there is like a hazing to the periphery of your vision, and it really is sort of bad. And I'm kind of getting sick of it and can't wait to move on to a different sort of armor style, because it does make it sort of hard to see a little bit.
I remove all the chameleon type stuff when I can, almost, because especially if you're like doing that and you hide, a lot of times you can't see. You try to aim with your rifle and you can't see what you're aiming at, and there's a bunch of things. It can get hard to see. Yeah.
Well, unless you're playing survival mode, there's no reason to wear chameleon anyway, because it doesn't affect how the enemies in the game see you or not.
It doesn't. Oh, no. I was thinking just the opposite. I thought maybe like actual players wouldn't see you if you.
No, actual players don't. Well, unless they catch your shimmer, they don't see you. But
Ray likes to use it to scare the shit out of you.
But if it's you know, if you don't have high sneak and you're chameleon and you're standing next to a super mutant, he'll hit you. If you do have high sneak and you don't have Chameleon and you're standing next to a super mutant, he won't hit you.
Okay, you're right. Yeah. I definitely I keep like the sneak mode very high in survival. Again, I don't do that way at all in adventure, but in survival, I'm trying to sneak.
But
my
in
way through
in
all the way.
survival, sneak doesn't impact other players.
Right, but it's
But
not that I'm worried about
Chameleon-
other
but Chameleon
players.
does.
Right. Okay. Well, see, I didn't know that about Chameleon, but it's not that I'm worried about sneaking with other players. I like to just kill things without creating any like gunfire or whatever, because that does alert other players to where you are. Everyone can hear the gunfire or things going on in this combat, and then all of a sudden your position's been exposed.
Hell yeah, I put what do you call them? Not mufflers, but on all my silencers. Yeah, I put silencers, suppressors on all my weapons on my survival character. I don't want people hearing my shots.
Right, because you can hear it. Like I definitely hear people going around. Like I'll be in somewhere, I think I'm sneaking around, and all of a sudden I'll hear a little bit of like gunfire, whatever, and I'm like, oh, someone's creeping up, so like it lets me know.
Yeah, she's got a Western revolver, but I don't use it because, man, that thing's loud.
I haven't played survival yet because realistically, I wouldn't survive.
Well. Steve, why don't we talk about survival mode next season? So that's going to play a part on our Pip-Boy. What did we do there?
Oh yeah, I did. We added a level that you need to play in survival.
Oh, you guys are evil. Evil.
Yeah. So, and I made sure that it wasn't below 5, because then that would take all the fun out of it. So it's between 5 and 25 was just the numbers I picked. I figured everybody would
consider you all friends.
Just gonna have to practice over there.
You can do it though. Like I play all the time and don't encounter people. Like you just
Yeah,
have to be strategic with it.
You've never played with me before.
I was server hopping the other day, and I went into the game again, and immediately I realized, oh man, it must have switched me over to survival, because up in the top left corner was my name,
gosh.
and I was number 1. I think I was the only one on the server. I got out fast. I didn't find what I wanted anyway.
Yeah, so it'll be fun if people have some sort of experiences in survival that they normally wouldn't have, or at least it'll make them a little more edgy while doing the quest.
How do you get around in survival? Do you like the way I do? Like, because like you pretty much want to avoid your train stations and stuff. Like I kind of just use the workshops, and you claim those, and you kind of hope no one shows up for there. But you can use those as fast travel stations, since everyone.
Yeah, a lot of running in survival.
Yeah.
Not having those fast travel points really slows you down.
You mean I might have to figure out where the sprint key is?
And what I did was I only leave my camp up. So when I get to the camp, if I'm gonna fix a weapon, I'll pull out the weapons workbench and use it and put it away. If I want to sleep, I'll pop out the bed and sleep and put it back in. So, nobody ever sees anything more than just the camp machine, if they ever see anything.
Yeah, like my main camp. Oh, sorry.
I just said hide it in the bushes.
Yeah, that's what I take a high position somewhere out of the way so nobody can see. And
yeah, I just put away because I have a lot. Like my main camp is that one that we're actually doing that, that little rock show at tomorrow. So, but I just make sure I put away my rad arch, water purifiers, the diffusion generator, all that kind of stuff. Everything that's going to costly to replace.
Okay, I just wanted to say real quick, I have to go, guys. The dudes are telling me that we have to go get ice cream. So,
We're about to start wrapping it up here anyway. So have a great evening.
You guys too.
Sarah,
Right.
it was amazing having you as part of the storytellers. Thank you for your contributions to the show. You were a very valuable.
It's been great.
Thanks so much.
I'll talk to you all later. See you all in the wasteland. Bye.
Take care.
And
Bye.
on that note, we should ask everybody else. Does anybody else have favorite moments story-wise, or anything that did not mesh well with their character role? Anything that they're looking forward to next season? Like Clint and Charlene. Did you guys have any favorite moments in the game?
The only thing I found was the problem. I think it's been addressed before, of the not having one of the your strength or your perception or that standing out. My character Gardner was like 7, 8, 9, 8, 8, 8, 8. So nothing really special.
Yeah.
So for that next time it'd be good. It looks like you're working towards having one like that, so that'll be good.
But Clint, it's
We're
all special.
We're gonna force you to have one of those be super strong and one of them be super weak. So hopefully that'll help skew them. One of them will have a 15 and one of them will have a 1. That'll be a guarantee next season. So I don't know if we're gonna regret that or not.
Yeah, I mean, it did cause problems
Some will, for
occasionally.
sure.
Yeah, because Gardner wasn't strong in some fields, so she could do things that needed to be done. So a couple of times I had to enlist help, to get the main quests done.
Yeah, you were finishing the game. You're doing end game stuff at like level 32, though, right?
39 she ended up at. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you're supposed to. I think they mean for you to be level 50 or above when you're finishing the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I had some. Was it ultrasight armor? I couldn't wear it. It's given to you when you go through the glass cavern.
Mom, I want to wear the armor.
Yeah, I feel that. Still
Yeah.
sitting in the flashbox.
Yeah, so she was stuck with T45 all the way through the game.
That's funny.
But it was
Charlene,
good stuff. It worked.
did Charlene have any favorite moments in the game?
I just like tagging along behind Clint and covering him when he's trying to, when Gardner was trying to achieve certain tasks and keep a few baddies off the back. And yeah, my character had fun doing that.
And this is your first Fallout game, you had said, and first
This is my
game
first any of this type.
Yeah. So that's really awesome that you were able to hop on in and have a good time. That shows promise for Ray's wife, Nancy, right?
Yeah. Yes, it doesn't have to dive in too deep. You just noodle around a bit and help out where you can.
Yeah, they're going to take over the world and wipe the floor with all of us.
I suppose anybody wants to have a try and convince my wife to make life a bit easier. I got her to a con in a blue and yellow dress. That's as far as I've gotten.
Definitely listening to the episode with Clint and Charlene definitely went a long way to selling her on it. So
yeah, that's good.
Ah, good.
The newlywed game, was she jealous? Did you play our newlywed game? Does she know that you're
yeah, we listened to that today on the way down. She was cracking up.
Is she jealous that you're promised to me now, Ray?
Not so much.
Some days you can probably have them.
Yeah.
We should ask her the same questions that you asked me and see how well she does, huh? What do you think about that?
Why?
Would you know your play style on Fallout 76? Sorry.
No.
Great. Ray, favorite story in the game? Any moments memorable?
Yeah, I think the biggest one for me was the Sam Blackwell story, just front to back. He shows up in so many different places, and it's just such a he was the true good guy in the whole story.
Yeah.
And then the heartbreak at the end. But
so why were Cobb's cards all fucked up? What was the main problem there again?
His wasn't so much in the cards as it was in the in the way the stats were laid out. Following the special tags, he just didn't have the perks in this when he needed it, to get anything done. So,
well, that's the point of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, we left that out so next time, people won't be inclined to follow a particular path there. They'll have to find their own path.
Yeah, if he had gotten to level 50, he would have been in good shape. But because he just barely got over halfway through, he just didn't have the the specs that he needed to be able to get anything done.
I'm curious, in your camp, did you ever get the baseball statue? The baseball player statue.
So I had it, I just never built it.
Okay.
Because by the time I got it, I was already heavily into Abby Normal, and so Cobb was just getting the task done he needed for that week's show, and so
then did Abby Normal then when you switched over to her? For her statue out front, did you get that disgusting cannibal statue where she's eating a corpse?
So she got the totems. She's got the Fashnak pyre.
Bone chimes. Aren't there bone chimes you can hang around too? Something like that. There's some creepy things you can make.
Yeah, not too much. I don't remember seeing any bone chimes.
I definitely have that plan. I know that I've seen those in my build menu.
I got bone chimes.
No,
I'll have to see
I haven't seen that one. But yeah, she does. She does all the creepy stuff she can.
Bone chimes are under defense, aren't they?
That
Yeah,
would make
they're-
sense.
Yeah, and they're in the shop.
Yeah. Oh, you have to purchase those?
Yeah, they were in the shop. They were featured.
Yeah.
I wanted to
All right.
mention. I wanted
Yeah,
to
go
mention something on the special. I mean, when we got the roll last time, it's like, oh, good, my character's going to have 11 strength. Well, then you look at the way it was laid out in the pattern, and it's like, oh, but she doesn't get 5 of those until after level 35. So it's like, whoa, this was skewed.
I think we're going to change that up. And you get to dictate when you take what levels are important to your character, I believe.
Yeah.
But I mean, the character generator was awesome in the fact that we didn't know anything about this game when we got started.
Absolutely,
we're shooting in the dark. That's definitely with Fallout 4. We played it for a few months before we just sort of jumped right into it as the game was launching. Like a month.
Funny. I've actually just been recently listening to season 6 of the podcast stuff, and I jumped around a little bit, but I've heard the season 6 wrap up and the opening, and there's a bunch of Fallout 76 speculation in there, and that was definitely a concern of yours, Andrew. Just like, what are we going to do with this and that, and you can
all right,
listening to it.
Will, you went back in time. How much of our prognosis and prognosticating it was correct at all?
None.
Let's talk about Fallout 5. In space.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Maybe not none, but it was definitely a little humoristic, because information was slowly being leaked out, and people were trying to piece it together and discern, see what that meant, and but a lot of it, it was off. So there was some stuff that was right.
Yeah, of course it was. What do you expect? All right, guys. Thank you so much for your participation all season long, every single one of you, and other people who did not appear on tonight's show, people who sent in feedback. You guys are the reason why this show works. The community is the only reason that we do the show, for the feedback and for the roundtable aspect. Ray, Sarah, and I, we would just play our quests and regurgitate our stories, but it's the flourishment and the experiences that you guys bring to all of our stories that really make this whole experience worthwhile. And every single person out there in the community, if you haven't jumped in to do it, but your support vicariously through us, through the roundtable, just participating in the community, and everyone out there who makes this possible, from the bottom of our heart, Ray and I and Sarah, and everyone, thanks you so super duper much. And now Jess, who's now joining the crew, who'll be a new host going forward. I'd like to thank her for hopping on as well. This is a community project, and you guys mean the world to me. And it's really fun to hear everyone's stories and to have a space where we can all just come together and share our experiences with these weird characters that we come up with in our head. So from the bottom of my heart, and I know Ray expresses the same, thank you, each and every one of you out there who have made this community what it is, and this podcast and the silly little show that we do, one of the most meaningful things that I do with my time. So thank you guys so much for that.
Yep.
Well, thank you. I'm grateful to be a part of it.
And I fully expect each and all of you to return next season. We are going to do the best quests of Fallout 76. So all the fun side stuff that we didn't do with our characters here for the main quest. And now you probably did do some of these things on the side quest, so you will be repeating these things. You've probably done them at least once or twice before, recently within a couple of months. So all this stuff will be super fresh, and we've got a good probably 20 or 30 items here on our list. So we're gonna come up with probably another 10 episode season, and we'll talk about some of the best and fun things to do in Fallout 76. So if anyone out there, fresh listeners, anyone just discovering us, if you'd like to join in on the Roundtable experience, we'll be starting, I believe, June 20th. Jess, Ray, and I will be drawing characters, and that is sort of usually an open field event like we do with this, what we're doing tonight, where we have lots of people invited on, and we just go down and we roll characters. It's always one of my favorite episodes of every season, just rolling characters and people going, oh no, this card, fuck that, or yay, special, I got this special.
Yay, Vans.
Yay. fuck you, Vans. Yeah. That's always one of the great running gags of the show. So that's always one of my favorite episodes. That'll be going on June 20th. But until then, we have a few guests coming on. I believe next Thursday we'll have Shalene from That Fallout Show, and she's going to go to the E3 stuff here coming up pretty soon. So we're excited to talk to her about all that. Gosh, so a few other guests coming up here in the future.
You said Laura was coming on, didn't you?
Yeah, Laura is, I believe, the 13th.
Westvault Radio was the name of her show.
Yeah, West Vault Radio, yes. And if you are a fan of us, you're probably already listening to That Fallout Show. I mean, I accept the fact that at least 75 to 100% of our listeners also listen to That Fallout Show. I would also hope that at least 75 to 100% of you are also listening to West Vault Radio over there. Those folks in Vault 97. And also, he hasn't produced an episode in a little while, but Mind Fog. I always have to put out a plug for Mind Fog too. Another great Fallout podcast. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Charlene and Clint, you're taking time out of your vacation to talk to our silly little podcast. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Hey, you're welcome. Every minute of it. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I hope to have you guys both on again soon. Lee, thanks for hopping on.
Thank you, sir, for all you've done to arrange things and give us an environment where we can have this great community.
Absolutely. That's why we do it, is for each other. Absolutely. Simon, thank you so much for coming on. It's now starting to get late for you. Hopefully we can do another early show sometime and get you on again. It was great to speak with you. And Steve, thanks so much for hopping on. Wonderful work on the character generator, and I'm excited for next season and everything that'll bring.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome, man. I totally appreciate being a part of this community. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for all your efforts, man. You do lots of hard work and behind the scenes stuff for us too. So thanks a lot for all the work you've done, stepping up with the character generators and all that. That's been great. And Will, again, your storytelling, just shaping everything and presentation, not only through your audio stories, but also your photography and just the sort of detail you put into crafting. I just really respect your ability to tell a story, sir. So thank you so much for letting us enjoy your stories this season.
Oh wow! Thanks a lot. I was just going to thank you, for the opportunity to do this, because I was really nervous at the beginning of the season to just involve myself and contribute in any ways. But it's been just an absolute pleasure, and I'm so glad I did. So thank you.
And thanks everyone for hopping on the show. I'd also like to shout out Jen, who appeared with you a lot of times, seemed to be your partner in crime a lot. So I'd like to shout out Jen and all the stories she was able to tell with you all season long. That was really fun to hear through both perspectives.
Yeah, it was fun. Really, really fun. Just learning. That was my favorite thing this season. I know you're trying to wrap it up real quick, but that was my favorite thing about just this whole season for me. It's kind of the personal growth I had learning to play from just a solo player to all of a sudden having a teammate all the time. So it was interesting.
That was great. And we don't want to force anyone in this project to do anything they don't want to do, of course, but it's been really wonderful to sort of, I don't want to say twist your arm, but to get you onto the show and promise we're not going to bite, and then you come on and you say you're a nervous wreck, but we can't tell anything. You nail it out of the ballpark every time, and it sounds great. So I just want to, anyone else out there, if you're nervous about coming on the show and that is something that you're interested in doing, please reach out to us. We're nice people. We don't bite. If you're sending in feedback, we like to include you into the storytelling process as much as possible. So Will can vouch. It's
Absolutely. You guys
thing
do
to
a
do.
great job at making us feel comfortable with this, because I was a nervous wreck. So.
Well, we couldn't tell, so thank you, Will, for hopping on. Everyone, thanks for listening to this edition of the Fallout Feed Roundtable, this season of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. We will see you next season starting June 20th, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Bye.
For downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.